play 4 hours, commentate for 4 hours, or a combination of 2 hours and 2 hours. So check it out.
Or don't you care at all? Now, Ken is a great guy. He took a bath last night. I know you went home, Bart, but I stuck around and played. And got to watch some really good action.
Looks like this pot is limped around here. 5-way action. That means it's a $50 pot, Dave. King 7-3. Excuse me, it's a $100 pot.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. 10-20 blinds. And the flop comes out.
75.
And Ed's going to bet here, it looks like, with a gut shot there to the 6. And he's probably going to take it down with the semi-bluff.
Yeah, nobody else has got anything, so.
Excuse me, Ron there, seed 8.
And interesting here. Now, Ron is obviously our celebrity poker star here, and for obvious reasons, but we've got a lot of professional poker players. There's John Wong in seat 7, and we've talked about him numerous times. Quite a tournament player, won numerous tournaments. He's actually having a heck of a year. Seat 6, we had mentioned already, Brian Lee, local professional player. Plays some tournaments, but mostly plays cash games, and makes a living doing it. There he is, Brian Lee at a Diamond Bar. Seat 5 is also a professional poker player. That's Jason, and he's out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And actually doesn't play many tournaments, but comes into town, especially when the tournaments are around, because the games are better.
Yeah, to follow the circuit.
Exactly.
Play in the cash
he follows
games
the
on
tournament
circuit.
circuits.
Yeah.
And
actually, there are quite a few players that do that, right?
Without a doubt, right.
Yeah.
We saw Kurt last night.
Yeah.
Out of Idaho.
This pot has been limped around here again, and the flop is 3-4-4.
Wow.
Look at Ron Rose. He's got trip 4s. He's going to slow play a little bit. He checks. And now he's going to bet. He's going to bet 50.
That was kind of a dangerous slow
I was going to
play
say,
there.
Dave, the pot was limped around, but that's a pretty coordinated board. Couple of spades out there. And as we can see, Nick there had a gut shot. If a 6 had come out,
Yeah.
he would have made a straight.
And that would have been a heck of a hand. That would have been tough to get away from, because
Yeah.
Ron would have had the open-ended straight draw as well.
With trip 4s.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe he was trying to go for the check raise there, Dave. I mean, sometimes we talk about when you have a hand that you'd really like to bet, well, sometimes if the board is so coordinated, you really can't bet somebody off of the draw, but you'd still like to put some money in there, so sometimes you go for the check raise.
Right.
In that spot.
Right, but in an unraised pot, it's real hard.
Yeah.
You can't expect anybody to bet in an unraised pot.
Small blinds picked up pocket jacks there in seat
125.
4.
Seat 4 there, that's Nick Mayo.
But seat 1 is going to raise. He's going to make it 120 to go. He's got pocket 8s.
300.
And pocket jacks is going to re-raise to 300. A raise to 120 there by Gary with pocket 8s, and a re-raise by Nick out of the small blind to 300. Ron's over there with ace rag. I can't imagine that he's going to call here to a raise and a re-raise with ace rag.
Now, that'd be very surprising. But it's interesting. I mean, not only have we, but nobody's obviously seen Ron Rose play in a cash game before. We've always seen him play tournaments.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how he adapts his style.
And a call there by pocket 8s. So we're heads up.
Two players.
Jacks against 8s. It's a $600 pot. Ooh, 5-7-9. You wonder if 8s is going to be able to get away from the hand here, Dave.
That's not a bad flop for 8s now.
Yep. And Jacks is going to lead here.
700.
700. So the pot is now 1,300. 700 for Gary over there with pocket 8s to call. And he's got a gut shot to the 6 as well, Dave.
Exactly. Well, he's got to think, okay, my 8's probably good if I hit it, and certainly a 6 is good if I hit it.
Yep.
And I still might be good if this guy's got ace, king, or ace, queen.
We could see some fireworks right off the bat in this hand.
Gary's thinking about it here.
It's a $700 bet.
This is tough. I mean, Gary's thinking of all sorts of things. I mean, raise, fold.
Look at that. He's going to lay down the hand. What a lay down. Again, he had 6 outs, obviously. You know, the 8, the 6, 2 8s, and 4 6s.
Well, it's funny, this show, we get such an eclectic group of players. Sometimes we get the crazy gamblers. Sometimes we get the celebrities. We get the amateurs. Tonight, it's almost like professional night.
Yeah.
I mean, this table is littered with pros.
Dave, the rabbit cam showed a 9 on the turn and a 10 on the river. And, if he had called there on the turn, it's kind of like one mistake begets another mistake. You wonder if he would have been able to get it away from the hand at all.
Well, I think that's exactly what he was thinking, too.
Yeah.
Is he calling just to hit a 6 or an 8? And if he is, well, that's only 6 outs.
Raise 100.
Well, John Wong here, we've seen him do it many times. He's going to raise an unraised pot out of the blind. This time he's got a pretty big hand. Looks like ace-queen offsuit. He's made it 100 more to go.
And this is a pretty tight group.
And Wong's going to take it
And I
down.
think Wong's going to try to take advantage of that. Brian Lee actually moved to seat 2 there, out of seat 6.
And, we've seen Wong. He'll change up his style. If it's a tight game, he'll start raising with any 2 cards from the cutoff and from the button, Dave.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's
And
an
he'll start
excellent
to run
player,
over the
and
table.
he'll definitely try to run over it, exactly.
Yep.
So how you doing today, Bart?
Pretty well.
Having a good day?
Yeah. I actually had a record-breaking day for me today. In 2 hours, I've won about $1,400.
Kicking ass and taking numbers, huh?
Got to play a little stud high-low heads up.
I was watching
turns
that.
into
That was
stud high, and what a great player I was playing against. Great for me.
Yeah,
What I mean by that is,
well, it's funny in the poker world. Most professional poker players, when a player is really good for the game,
6 players.
we call him a superstar, an MVP, an all-star.
Yeah.
And you were playing against the MVP of all MVPs.
6-way action here, limped around $120 pot, 7-3-3 on the flop,
75.
couple of spades.
And John Huang, actually, it's not Mr. Kim in seat 7. John Huang's actually got trip 3s there. Look at that.
Yeah.
See how he plays it.
And Nick has led here for 75 with pocket 5s. And Wong's going to raise here with the ace-3. A couple of spades on board. He has the ace of spades, but, if you're aggressive, why not bet your good hands as well, Dave?
Well, that's what he's doing.
And he's made the mini raise, which I think you're sometimes a fan of, too. Well, look at this. Pocket 5s quickly. Did he make the call? I thought he laid it. Oh, he's still thinking here. So the flop is 7-3-3. And he's going to muck it. And Dave, you talk about sometimes when you've made trips like that in position, you can put that mini raise in there because, you could be doing the same thing with a flush draw. You could be doing it, with almost anything.
You could be doing it. You could also do it with a 7.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be doing it. I mean, John is representing like ace 7,
Right.
8-7, something like that.
Yeah.
Top pair, and he's kind of hoping that Nick had like pocket 9s or pocket 10s.
Yeah.
But in that case, he had pocket 5s, and there's nothing he can beat on the board except a draw. Oh, and we get Abraham in seat 6, another professional poker player. Wow, this game is filled with sharks. It's one of those games where I'm always curious. It's real easy when you get a couple of sharks and a couple of minnows in the game. It's always real interesting to see. Obviously, you go, okay, well,
4 players.
this guy should feast on him. But it's interesting when you get all these professionals in the game to see how it works out.
Well, this pot was limped around once again. 3-3-5 here on the flop. Yeah, we saw Abraham play a couple shows ago, and he played a very, very solid game, Dave. I mean, almost as impressive as we've seen anyone play on the show.
Abraham's actually from Atlantic City, and he also flies around and goes around the tournament circuit. And he's flew in I'd say about 3 weeks ago.
Turn was a 9 there, and the river is an 8. It got checked around on the turn as well. It looks like Ron there in seat 8 backed into the best hand, Dave.
90.
But Abraham, he's going to try to make a steal with it. He's got king high. He bets 90. Betting about the size of the pot. Ron Rose there has the best hand with a pair of 8s. And he's going to muck. And Abraham looks like he's going to take it down there with the bet in position.
Yep, there you go. And
And he
shows
shows
it.
the bluff.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Abraham earlier, and he said he has some family out here, but he lives in Atlantic City. He's a professional poker player out of there. But he said after playing here for the last 3 weeks, he's thinking of moving here.
Well, wouldn't you? I mean, we have the luxury that we live here.
Exactly, yeah. Well, for poker,
Beautiful weather, beautiful women,
I tell you,
Southern California, beautiful
Southern
poker.
California is definitely the poker capital of the world,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Big blind over there, Leland. Excuse me, Brian. He's got pocket queens. Yeah.
80 total.
And look at this, John Wong. He's going to raise to 80. Like we said, in the cutoff, he's got ace-7 suited. And seat 9's going to come in with king 10. Well, with a player in between, you got to think you're probably going to re-raise with queens. But he just calls, Dave. Wow. He's got he's got 4 people in the pot now. Did not re-raise queens. And look at that flop, ace, king, 8.
Well, he's not. Brian's a pretty good player. He's looking to trap somebody. He's looking to win a big pot. He doesn't want to win a small pot.
Or he's not going to trap with that flop.
Well, he'll get away from it pretty easily, and I'd imagine. I don't mind the play.
Now look at this. Ed has actually come out in early position and has led here on the flop with second pair. And looks like John Wong made a smooth call there with ace-7. The turn is a 9. There's a $150 bet on the flop. Ed is out of position.
Bet 200.
He might be putting in a little bit of a kind of a stop bet here.
He's going to bet 200. Let's see what John Wong does if he's just going to call him down. He's got the ace with the weak kicker. Has the best hand. Dave, the pot's laying about $650. $200 for John to call here in seat 7.
He can't like his kicker here. And John's going to call.
Yep, made the call. And the river is a 4 of clubs.
You shut down now if you got the king 10 or what?
Well,
you got to bet a lot if you want to get. Oh, that's not.
He's only going to bet 250 here, Dave. So the pot's about 1,100, 250 to call, and it's so big here if you're John. I mean, even if you're in kicker trouble.
That's just not a big enough bet to get him off the hand, I don't think.
Well, it's almost like a bet asking him to call.
Well, it's a value bet, and if it's, I mean,
puts John in a tough spot though. What can you be out there? You can, I mean, would someone come firing out there with king 10 when you raised pre-flop?
Right. No, I agree with you, but in the end of it all, you go, okay, well, maybe the guy's got spades, maybe he's got a weaker ace, or maybe we're chopping it, maybe he's got a king, and the pot's laying me 5-1.
Yeah. Again, it's about $1,100 pot, a $250. Oh, look at this!
Wow.
Ron makes the laydown, and Ed takes it down with good aggressive play.
I got to tell you, I don't understand the call on the turn then.
Yeah,
Why is
I don't
John
either.
calling, if you're
Yeah.
going to call on the turn, I mean, I'm baffled by the play. I mean, that's why I didn't think Ed bet enough there. Was John just calling to make 2 pair? Wow. Really strange.
And it wasn't a big bet on the river either, you know?
No, exactly. That's
Yeah.
why I thought, maybe if you bet $400 or $500 you get John off the hand, but
Yeah.
I didn't think that would be enough to do it. Wow. And now we've got a full table.
Full ring game. Seat 3 picking up ace-king offsuit. Looks like he just limped in there from early position. That's Sam over there. Local player. Abraham comes in with ace-rag, ace-4. John Huang's going to come in there with 10-3 of clubs. Ron Rose has a little suited connector with 5-6 of diamonds. And seat 1's got pocket 5s. And he's raised to 200, and he probably wants to pick it up right here. But ace-king's going to call. And everyone else, well, let's see if... Ron doesn't make the call there with 6-5 suited. So we're heads up ace-king against pocket 5s. About a $500 pot. 7-8-4, not a bad flop for pocket 5.
Not at all.
Bet 600.
One of those, I might still be ahead, and if I'm not, I got to draw.
And he slightly bets over the size of the pot, $600, and he's going to take it down.
And one thing that's interesting, the pair is way ahead there of ace-king. Most people go, oh, well, it's a race, ace-king versus pocket 5s. But not when you're only letting the guy see 3 cards.
Right, it's a race when you see all 5 cards.
Right,
without
exactly.
any betting.
But the ace-king is only going to hit a pair 1 out of 3 times on the flop. So you look at it that way and you go, wow, the 5s are way ahead. It's more like, 70-30, especially if he's going
Right.
to put a big bet on the flop.
And especially if the ace-king is not going to call if he does not hit a pair.
Right.
Well, seat 1's got ace-jack off suit, just chooses to limp in there from the button. A lot of people would raise there, Dave, don't you think, there, on the button?
5 players.
Yeah, maybe. Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. Put in the count.
Looks like we've got 5 players in here, so it's a $100 pot. 6 Jack 9, couple of diamonds. Pretty good flop there for Ace Jack.
150.
I mean, I personally would want to thin the field out. Why give the blinds a free shot at it?
Well, he's going to bet 150, about the size of the pot. Pot's now 275, 150 to call. Brian's got bottom pair over there, seat 2. He's going to muck it. Sam mucks the 3-5. Looks like Abraham quickly mucked 8-9. And, you know, we talk about John Huang. He likes to get tricky from up front, loves the check raise, and there you go. Doesn't need anything to check raise. He just check raises if he doesn't think anyone caught the flop, and this is what he does here.
He's check raising with nothing.
Absolutely
But the problem
nothing.
is, though, is Gary's got to look at it and go, well, I limped in here. He could have anything. This guy could have Jack 9.
Yep, and he's check raised 300. And if Gary, like you said, if he's not that familiar with John Huang, it's a $300 raise. So the pot is now $600, $300 to call.
John might be playing the player here. He saw, Gary's going to call.
Yeah, so now it's a $900 pot, Dave. And John's drawing real slim. Running deuces here?
Yeah.
Yeah. The turn is a king, and it's a third diamond, but Gary's got the ace of diamonds, so he's not probably going to anywhere.
Oh, wow.
But John Huang's going to move all in here. It was a $900 pot.
I know, 17, 18.
This is a pure bluff. He's got nothing.
And look at this. Gary says, take it. You bluffed me out. I muck. What aggressive play there by John Huang. And now we really get to see, and the rabbit cam shows an ace on the river. You know, now we really get to see, Dave, how some of these tournament players build up their chips. We didn't necessarily recommend this style in a cash game, but you can see that he's a tournament player, and this is the way that he plays.
Wow.
And that's how a lot of these guys consistently make it very, very deep in tournaments.
He's
obviously.
playing the player there. He sat down with this guy. You saw Gary laid down a hand earlier when he had pocket 8s versus Nick's pocket jacks, right?
Yep.
Now, obviously, nobody knew that he had pocket 8s, but he saw that he made the laydown. It was a tough laydown, but he made it. John also knows these guys are good players. They're not going to lose a lot of money with one pair.
Yep.
Look at that. Wow.
$100 total.
Seat 3 there. He's going to raise out of the small blind, it looks like. He's got ace-king offsuit, and he's going to pick up the limpers.
What a bluff.
56.
One thing that's really interesting there, is when you limp in with ace-jack on the button, somebody can go, well, it's not a great hand, but you have to, I mean, to me, it's a value raise spot. Because not only do you probably have the best hands on the button with ace-jack, you also don't want to give anybody a free shot at it, but also you're putting more money in the pot in the best position with probably the best hands. Why wouldn't you want to make it at least a $50 or $60 raise? You know, add more money to the pot.
Oh, is that John Fan again?
That is John Fan.
Yep.
He's good friends with John Huang, actually. John Fan, he's playing the tournaments here at the Legends of Poker.
Right.
Won over $1 million this year.
Couple of limpers here.
6
I haven't seen a lot of pre-flop raising at all, except by Huang, Dave.
No, it's, I mean,
Six-way action here. 7-5-4. Couple of diamonds. John's got a flush draw there in seat 7. Nick's got a pair. Ron has a pair. And John's going to bet it.
he loves those suited cards, doesn't he?
He bets 50. Ron Rose makes the call there with second pair and a gut shot.
He's got the same gut shot John has there.
Look at this. Nick is going to make the call with deuce 4.
600.
And Jason's got a straight. He flopped a straight there with 6-8, and he's going to check raise to 600.
Wow.
$50 bet, a call, and he's going to check raise to 600 here, Dave.
Well, he saw a $50 bet and 2 calls. He said, that's enough of that.
Pot is now $900, $600 to call there. And again, I think this is a perfect example, Dave, of from up front with that type of flop, holding 6-8. You can't really bet enough, but you want to put some money in there.
Without a doubt.
So you go for the check raise.
Right, and hope
Yeah.
it gets, and
Hope somebody bets.
Hope somebody bets.
Yeah.
And right now, he's almost 100% sure that somebody's probably either got a 6 or somebody's got diamonds.
Right.
You know, when one person bets $50 and you get a bunch of calls.
Yeah. Absolutely not the time where you would slow play that hand, right?
No way.
Yeah. And
Especially without a
John
diamond
actually
in your
has a
hand.
gut shot to the 6 as well.
Yeah, especially without a diamond in your hand.
So he's got a flush draw and a gut shot to the 6.
And obviously we know his gut shot's no good, but
Right. And again, if that 6 comes, a lot of people don't realize it would bring a 1 card straight to the board so that anyone with any 8 would have a higher straight than him.
Exactly.
So that gut shot really isn't worth much at all.
no. Definitely not.
And John looks like he's going to... He called, Dave. He called the bet. So now the pot...
It's about $1,500.
No, he's raised. He's raised. I think he's moved all in.
Yeah, it looked like he was counting his chips and putting them all in, so and that's what he's doing. That's a play like John would do. And John's in bad shape here.
Right.
He's moving all in for $2,200.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
I know.
So he's re-raised, and Jason's got the nuts, so you think he's going to call here, obviously.
think?
And he is going to make the call. And, Dave, we've got a $5,100 pot brewing. Jason's going to have to dodge a diamond.
That's okay.
The turn is an ace, and the river is a 5.
Jason
And Jason's going to take it down there with 6-8.
Wow.
What
Big
a pot. $5,000 pot right off the bat.
Flush draw?
And that's that's 2 nights in a row. Jason is just huge.
No 6.
Bam, that's the way to play no limit hold'em. Get in there with those, one gap
Yeah,
connectors
absolutely.
and flop the nuts and get somebody to move in on you. Oh,
Takes all of John Wong's money.
like I always say, I love when people move into my nuts.
About a $5,000 pot there.
6, 7, 8. Okay. 895. 895.
895 and
105.
890.
105. No.
Fives don't play though.
Oh, if I'm not.
Increments of 10. Small blind, 10, 10, 20.
890? Okay.
Increments of small blind.
110 back.
We know them all.
And what an unbelievable pot there.
Yeah, John Wong goes broke there. Loses about $2,500.
Looks like he's pulling back in there for money.
Well, difference between a tournament and a cash game. Cash game, he can rebuy. Tournament, he'd be going home. Be on the rail.
3,000.
And our pro out of Las Vegas there doubles up.
Just like that. And we'll have a chip count in here probably pretty soon.
And I'm surprised they didn't make a little deal and run it more than once.
Yeah, that was a little surprising. They
Yeah.
didn't, the option was never even thrown out there.
No. And we get a report that John Wong's going to buy in for another $2,000. Reload.
Well, it's like you said, you wonder of these sharks here waiting for these tournament players, these aggressive tournament players, and there
Wow.
it was right there. That's a tournament move. We know that John, he's willing to put all his money in on a draw,
Yeah.
even if he's behind. Because that's, tournament sense. You're going to gamble it up to get chips, but this is a cash game, Dave.
Exactly.
It's different.
He might have put the guy on 2 pair, figuring, okay, I got the gut shot and the flush.
Yeah.
Obviously, we knew, and now he knows that he was in really bad shape.
2 people have a flush draw here, Ed and Sam. Seat 9 and seat 3.
We can make a deal over here.
Jason's got top pair. He's going to call. The turn is a 10. The river's a 10.
Like that, we can make
And brings a 1 card straight to the board, anyone with a queen, but probably is going to get checked down here, Dave.
Check around.
And Jason's going to take it down there with ace 6.
And Jason is just on fire.
Yep.
There you go.
I forget to have you make a deal better, huh?
And a couple more nights like this, Jason's going to move here also.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
Hi, John.
Who needs Las Vegas when you come here?
71. The river, we can make a deal. Small. The turn in the river 2 times. Turn 2 times better.
Great couple of hands to start off the show there, Dave. Got a limp there by seat 9, Jack 9 offsuit. Brian comes in there with deuce 4 suited. Seat 4 is in there with king 10, and Abraham completes out of the small blind. And here we go. Looks like 5 ways, $100 pot to the flop. Jack 10-10. Seat 4's got trip 10s with king 10 over there. And Ed is going to bet out here with the jack. He's going to bet 150. And again, Dave, another example of probably where you wouldn't slow play it with a 10, but, well, it is a rainbow board. He's going to make a smooth call there with king 10. And we're heads up. The turn is a 6. See if Ed continues to lead with the jack. He is.
Ed, we saw Ed lead out before with the king here.
He's bet 250 now, it looks like.
Now, Nick's in position, so he can afford to let Ed keep betting the pot.
Look at that.
There's 3 more hundred.
Oh, he's going to raise here. He's going to raise 300 more.
And that just reeks of a 10, you know?
Yeah.
If you're in Ed's spot.
Well, the funny thing, though, is that you can make this move without a 10, too. If you think that the guy up in front wouldn't bet out on trips, you can
Right.
just call in position and on the turn make a move, right?
Well, that's what the play, exactly. He's clearly representing a 10.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, he's actually
Oh,
setting.
look at this. Ed makes the call. And the river is a 6. Nick fills up. Ed's going to check.
400.
Nick bets 400, a little value
Wow.
bet, and Ed quickly calls, and Nick takes down about a $2,400 pot, just like that, Dave.
That's just terrible.
How do
call.
you call with Jack 9 there? My goodness.
I mean, you can't even beat a jack, really.
Yeah,
Can't beat queen jack, can't beat king jack, can't beat ace jack.
that is... The only thing you could think is that maybe the guy was making a move with king queen, right? And that's about it.
You know what's funny? That's a play. He's representing a 10 there, clearly.
Right.
And by betting that, later on, he's setting up a bluff where he can smooth call when his trips and then raise on the turn. But clearly, now we know, do not bluff Ed, because Ed's going to call you down.
Oh, man.
Wow. I mean, that's just giving money away, Ed.
Pocket jacks here for Jason, looks like in seat 5.
200.
He's made it 200 to go.
Once again, straightforward ABC here.
Well, if you're looking at the players that are going to play that way, it's probably going to be the ones that make the most money. Seat 5 and seat 6, Dave. I'd say Brian and Abraham.
It seems
Jason
like
and
it so
Abraham.
far,
excuse
yeah.
me. Yeah.
It's funny too. I mean, you look at John Wong. He made such great play with the ace deuce, and he gets the guy with Gary to lay down top pair.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the thing about John Wong is that when he moved all in there with the king 3 of diamonds, did he really think that the guy check raising him? Did he really think that there was a possibility that guy was going to lay down a hand when he just check raised to 600? I mean, I got to think that in order to make that play, you have to think there's at least a slight possibility, and I just thought that it was a little obvious that there wasn't.
yeah,
You know?
you got to look at Jason and go,
Yeah.
okay, what kind of player is this? He just check raised 600.
Right.
Wow. I agree with you. I mean, you got to look at it and go, okay, maybe there's a 25% chance that I'll throw it away.
Right.
You know, a 35% chance that I'll win the pot if he calls. Okay, maybe I can do it. But in that case, it was pretty obvious that Jason wasn't going to go anywhere.
Right. John Huang is raised here again from late position. He's got ace 4 of hearts.
Wow.
Like he raised it like 120, I believe.
And Nick calls here with queen 7 offsuit.
Now, Jason, he's got 9-10 of clubs. Let's see how tight he really is. You would think he would call here.
2 player.
But he mucks, Dave. Boy, he really is ABC.
Yeah, he doesn't mind coming in with 6-8 in a limped round pot.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like to call raises with inferior hands.
200.
King 10-3 here, and obviously John gets checked to him, and he's going to bet.
And I'm just not sure the call there. Why call $100 with queen 7 offsuit? What are you trying to hit?
Well, the other thing that you've got to maybe take into account, the reason why Jason didn't play the hand there was he's playing against a very aggressive player there in John Huang, and does he want to get wrapped up in that flop? He had second pair. John's going to bet when it gets checked to him regardless, and he would have had the best hand. Then where would he have been? With
Exactly.
9-10.
Well, it's a drawing hand, and you don't really want to play a drawing hand out of position.
Yeah.
Against especially when an aggressive player is in position on you.
Yeah. And here's a chip count here, Dave, but this is actually what we started with. So Jason started with 2,000. Abraham started with 2,000.
Well, Jason's got about 4,500 now.
And John, he's down 2,700 because he rebought.
Well, he's got about 2,300 now.
Yep.
But that's after a rebuy, obviously.
Here we go with the flop. It was limped around here again. Ace, Jack, 4.
100.
Rainbow. Seat 3 has an ace 9. He's going to bet.
And he takes it down.
He takes it down.
Once again, we are live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman. I'm here with Bart Hansen, and we are watching a 10-20 no-limit hold'em game. Minimum buy-in is $1,000. Most of the players here have at least $2,000 in front of them, though, or more. And like I said, we are live, unedited, unrehearsed, unscripted, crazy, wild.
Two players.
Here we go with a 3 flush flop. King 5-4, all diamonds. Looks like Nick is going to bet here in position with ace jack. It's a $50 bet. And he takes it down.
Haven't heard much from Ron Rose here.
No, we haven't seen him really play a hand yet. Limp, limp.
5 players.
And here we go to the flop here. 5-way action, $100 pot. Queen, jack, deuce.
And John's got the best hand.
Yeah, he's got jack 9. Got checked around, though. The turn's a king, and now Jason's got the best hand with king 7. And he's going to bet it.
70.
And everyone folds.
Well, his table image is just, he's got an excellent table image. He bets people are going to just run out of the pot.
Yep. And John Huang, he bought 3,000 more in chips, Dave. I don't know if that was on top of the 2,300.
Looks like it, yeah. So he's got about 5,000 in front of him right now.
Wow. Well, he's really steaming. Wow, David, 3 people have ace jack off suit. Actually, one of them is suited. Ace jack, ace of diamonds, jack of hearts, ace of clubs, jack of diamonds, and ace jack of spades.
I'm going to go on a limb and say an ace or jack won't come on the flop.
Yeah. And Ed there, he's going to raise with the ace jack offsuit. Jason's going to smooth call with ace jack of spades. Abraham's got ace jack. John Huang's got a king 9 in there. Ron Rose, he's going to come in, it looks like, with deuce 3 suited.
There you go. I like deuce 3 suited here.
So we got 5-way action. It's a $450 pot to the flop. 5-6-6.
What a surprise. They all missed.
Couple of clubs.
$150.
He's going to get checked around there to the razor, Ed, and he's going to bet in position 150.
Power position here.
Dave, he should probably take it down unless John Huang wants to get tricky again. He loves to do this, Dave. But remember, Ed is not the player that you necessarily would want to bluff.
Raise 3 more.
Problem is, though, Ed doesn't have a pair here.
And he's raised again 300 more. Boy, he loves the check raise.
That was a $400 pot before the bet.
$450. The bet was $150, so it's $600 plus the call. It's a $1,000 pot. $300 to call, and look at this. Ed just calls.
Wow.
Unbelievable. $1,300 pot now. The turn's a 10, and if we know Johnny's probably going to push hard here from up front.
Well, Ed's
Oh, it goes check, Dave, and the river is an 8. And John just shuts down.
and look at this. Ed thinks he needs to bet to win the pot.
And you wonder if John can really read him if he puts in a bet, and could he check raise the river and get him off of a hand?
I'm wondering here. Ed's got to think that his ace high is no good. He thinks that he needs to bet this to win. Otherwise, obviously, he would just show it down.
It's a $1,300 pot.
Ed thinks that John probably had a pair of 5s or something like that, or maybe a middle pair, like a pair of 9s or a pair of 7s.
Oh, no, I didn't know. Check. 300.
And he's going to bet 300. He said he didn't know he checked. He bets 300 into a $1,300 pot, and actually John just lives to play another hand. He
Well,
must.
that's playing the player there. You know, he check raised him.
Well, now we really know that Ed really doesn't lay down a lot of hands, right?
Don't bluff Ed.
Yeah. That's
Mental note.
incredible.
I mean, Ed's probably feeling good about himself right now.
And Dave, for all the naysayers out there, I don't buy that Ed is reading John as having nothing. I don't buy it.
No way.
I don't buy that at all.
Well, no, if he read him as having nothing,
Yeah.
then he doesn't bet the river.
Yeah.
There's no point in betting
Absolutely. I totally agree with you 100%.
because you're only going to get called by hand that beats you. There's no
Right.
way you're going to get called by king high.
Right. If he had checked it down, then we could understand that.
Then it's a great play.
Yeah.
I'm not buying that either.
No.
Sell. Once again, we have our Legends of Poker tournament going on. It's our big tournament here at the Bicycle Casino. And today's tournament was a limit hold'em, $1,000 buy-in, started at $415. And once we get the numbers on that, we'll let you know about them. We also have the second day of yesterday's no limit hold'em event, started at noon. About 24 players started today. Some notables such as Raymond Davis are still in the tournament.
5-way action here, limped around. Ace, King, 10 on the flop, rainbow flop. Nick is in there with Ace, 8. He's going to bet it in position.
Well, everybody here either has a pair or a draw.
He's going to bet 120 there from the cutoff. And he's going to take it down. Yep, bunch of queens, bunch of jacks.
Right. And I want to say hi to Russ McGinley over at 2+2. Funny, I think Russ is onto something. He's saying, once again, John Wong, wife's not here, he loses.
Minus EV, I think is
Exactly.
exactly what he said.
I like that.
Pretty funny. I've been still waiting for the alligator boots to come in that he's supposed to send me there for northern Florida.
He's sending you alligator boots?
No, he's supposed to send me something.
You think you can pull off alligator boots?
Maybe. Freeway action here. Limped around. 9-6-4. And Ron Rose is going to bet here 50. And Nick's going to call with second pair. And
John
calls. Is
with
he
a gut
gonna,
shot.
Yeah. Turn is a deuce. Gives Ron a pair now. He checks. But now Nick thinks he's got the best hand with the 6, and he does.
What exactly is Nick in there with queen 6 offsuit? He obviously is queen rags offsuit. And no, he's not in the blind.
$145 bet here, and he's going to take it down.
Nick in seat 4, Nick Mayo out of Long Beach, California. Okay. Don't know much about him, but I'm going to do some research and find out.
limp here. Abraham's going to limp. John Hong, he's got 2 suited cards. He's going to come in. And once again, we see a family pot here limped around. 6-way action, $120 pot. $10, 6, 8 on the flop.
That is 50.
Sam bets here with King 8, $50 bet. Nick is going to call there with the gut shot, Dave. But of course, if he hit his gut shot, he would have the top end of it, meaning he would beat anyone with just a 7.
Exactly. Definitely does add a little value to the hand.
The turn is an ace. Sam's going to check. Let's see if Nick bets here. And he is. He's going to bet.
And once again, Nick's in there with a hand that I'm just...
All in.
And look at this. Sam check raises him all in. Nick bet 150. Sam check raises him all in. Sam doesn't buy it.
Yeah, he smelled the same crap that I smelled.
See how much more it is. 335 more, Dave.
And Nick's got to do some odds here, thinking, okay, what do I need?
I think the pot is about 850, 335 to call.
Not quite getting 3 to 1, but he's
Yeah.
got to try to figure out what cards are good. Is my jack good, or did this guy hit an ace? Does he have 2 pair already? And in that case, then I'm drawing dead to a 9. And if he thinks he's drawing dead to a 9, then clearly he doesn't have the odds.
And he's going to muck it.
There you go.
And Sam takes it down.
And unfortunately for us and for the table, I think Ed in seat 9 is actually going to get up. I hear that he's been playing poker for about a year.
Yeah.
And did rather well tonight. Hopefully, he's going to obviously have to learn to lay down a hand if he wants to be really successful in No Limit Hold'em.
Well, Dave, tell us a little bit about what happened after we went off air last night.
Oh, and one second, I just want and Ed actually, I hear that he actually raises Pomeranians on the side.
Really?
Yeah. He breeds them and raises them. It's really special. Loves them. You kind of look like...
I actually heard he was an alpaca farmer myself.
No, I'm being serious here. And also, he actually raises Pomeranians and breeds them. You know, like the Best in Show type thing, you know. But yeah, back to last night's show. It was funny, I was playing in stud high-low game and walking back and forth and kind of just eyeing it, and Kenna kept calling me over, going, oh my God, you got to see this hand. You got to see this hand. And I'll get back to that in 1 second.
Pocket 10s is going to raise here, and he's going to take it down.
Well, there you go. Anyway, so some of our favorites, Patrick, a local professional poker player. I like to call him a local professional superstar.
Yeah.
He's one of our superstars.
Superstar.
He played in the game. Bald Mike, played in the game.
Corporation Mike.
Corporation Mike, exactly. Kenna was in the game. And Kurt. And the game was just live. I mean, we're talking each and every pot was a couple of $1,000s. And the bluffs, and it was really a fantastic game. And I wanted to like jump in here, even though all you guys had gone home. I wanted to jump into the production booth and turn on the lights and get it going. Unfortunately for Kenna, his luck did not turn, and he continued to lose. So it's one of those days where he probably should have just stayed in bed. Look at this. Abraham's got ace king of spades.
He's going to raise to 140 with Big Slick suited.
And he takes down. Interesting play here by Abraham. We saw him sit down about 25 minutes ago, and the first hand he bluffs, right? And he showed the bluff. Like he was some sort of like crazy, young kid, like a little punk, like...
Well, C4 is called here with deuce 6 offsuit.
Oh, I thought
Wow.
he folded. I'm sorry.
He called a $140 raise with deuce 6 offsuit.
That is 125.
And I think we have the breeding of a new superstar over there in seat 4.
Nick, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought, okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm not even going to try to understand that one. But Nick, Abraham here, we know, he's kind of like Jason. He's pretty much ABC, plays tight, he waits for the nuts, and he raises with them. He doesn't get tricky, really. He's good at reading his players. But you notice how right away he tries to show the bluff to kind of like mislead the table.
Right.
And then, sure enough, you see him. He hasn't played a hand since then until now.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets ace-king suited.
Looks like Ron Rose limps in there with queen 9 of clubs. Seat 9 there, new player. He's going to come in with ace 3 offsuit. And we're going to see a multi-way pot here.
Actually, it's still Ed.
Oh, it is still
He
Ed.
hasn't gotten up yet. I just got word that he was going to get up. But it's still the Edster, our little Pomeranian.
10-8-6, Brian's flop bottom 2 pair there in seat 2. Looks like he checked it from up front. And it gets checked around, and look at that, the turn's a 7.
See, that might have been one of those times where the board was so coordinated he might have wanted to do the check raise,
Yeah.
and it just didn't come, obviously.
And Ron has picked up a straight. But look at Nick. He's going to bluff. He's got the ass end of the open-ended straight draw, Dave.
Yeah.
And Ron just smooth calls with queen 9.
You wonder if Nick hits the 9 on the turn, he thinks his 5 is good. On the river.
And the river is a 7. And Nick is going to continue to fire here.
150.
He bets 150. And Ron smooth calls. And I like the smooth call there, Dave. Really no reason to raise on the
Yeah,
end.
you look at it and you go, well, the board pairs, right? The board pairs and you go, okay, well, what can I beat? It's a full house. And if the guy had Jack 9, he's got a higher straight than me. So
Yeah.
it's one of those, if he raises there, he's only going to get called by a hand that beats him.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if the 9 had come there in the river. Of course, it would have been a chop pot.
Exactly.
And I think that Nick has taken an early exit. I believe that he has gone and Jason's moved over there to seat 4.
Well, there we go.
Oh, no, he's still there. Jason has left.
Well, there we go. Surprising, Jason. Maybe Jason just doesn't like the game. You know, he got paid off one time, but the game's not real action game.
Yep.
And he's thinking, you know, maybe I can get an easier way to find money.
Ed's raised here with ace-king offsuit. Looks like it's a 50.
I'm surprised. I mean, to me, Nick is just money. I mean, he's just...
Yep.
And he's got about $2,000 in front of him.
And we're going to see a pot here, Dave. $250 pot.
Look at John in there with Jack 6 of diamonds. Everything suited. He always in there.
3-3-4. It's like pocket 5 is good.
See how Abraham plays this?
No, look. Oh,
He
he's
might be-
checked it.
Yeah, he might be looking for a check raise. See how somebody does it here.
Or he might just not get involved at all, Dave.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Ed is bet here. Nick, he makes a smooth call with queen 9. And now
you know-
Abraham leaves.
You know what? Nick just saved.
Ed.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Totally protected his hand there by calling.
Pot is now $550. The turn's a 7.
What is Nick calling with?
And it goes check, check. He doesn't bet on the turn. And the river is a 7. And now I think it's a check and Nick has bet, but Ed has ace high. He might make the call here.
He bet 700 though.
It's a $700 bet.
Yeah.
And Ed mucks. Dave, that's going to be one of the strangest hands I've ever seen here on Live at the Bike.
Well, the only thing I will say is
Wow.
Nick kind of played it like he had a 3. He smooth calls,
Yeah.
then he checks the turn, kind of hoping for a check raise maybe, and then when the river comes out, he fires at it.
Okay, I'm going back to threes.
I'm just trying to replay it.
Started with threes on two.
Kind of sort of played it like a 3. But,
Well, actually, yeah. I had thought that Nick was actually in position, and that's
Right,
why
no.
it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me. But he was actually up front.
maybe thinking that, okay, maybe I'll check raise
So
with my
Ed
3.
checked right behind him.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when a 7 came on the river, he's looking
Yeah.
at it going, you know, Ed's going, I can't beat anything but a bluff. And Abraham there, when I say Nick protected Nick's hand, when I say Nick protected Ed's hand, I'm sorry, what I was saying was there's no way Abraham can overcall. Because he's going, wait a second, one of these guys has got to be, one of them might be bluffing, but the other guy's got to be telling the truth. Which is why he threw his 5s away.
It looks like we're going to have a new player there. Hoff coming into seat 5. It's going to come in for $4,000 there, Dave. We got a flop here, 3 queen 10.
225.
And Brian, who was the original raiser, he's going to bet. He's picked up a pair, but Ed has second pair. and he has no diamond. So very difficult to call here with 9-10 of clubs. It's a $225 bet. But Ed makes the call.
Well, very difficult to call. It's not in Ed's vocabulary.
It's about a $700 pot now. The turn's a queen.
Hey, that makes my 10 even look stronger.
Ed checks. Brian looks like he's betting again.
Brian, you're bluffing the wrong guy.
375.
375 here, Dave. Well, if he calls the 10 on the flop, he's going to call. He's going to call here. The pot now is about $1,400.
And I don't think Brian has enough money left to bluff him out.
$1,400 pot here to the river. Oh, river is a king, and Brian backs into the best hand. And it gets checked down, and kings and queens with the 10 is going to take it down there. Big pot.
Wow, there's a bluff gone right, huh?
Yep. Wow.
Wow, that's just a bluff gone right.
Oh, there you go. Bluff gone right.
And he got extremely lucky there because there was no way he was going to get him off the hand. He only had about $300 left. And I'm friends with Brian there. I'm gonna rag him with that one.
Well, we know that you don't necessarily want to bluff Ed out there in seat 9.
Using the 10.
Looks like this pot is going to get limped around here. But Ron Rose, he's going to raise out of the blind. He's got ace-9 of clubs.
Yeah,
We take 10,
somebody took my money.
70 more.
And Nick makes a call with 6-7 offsuit. So Nick has started with some questionable hands, Dave, pre-flop.
I like 6-7 better than Queen 7 at least.
And we're heads up.
Give me one piece. You all want?
Ace-9 deuce. Ron's flop top 2 pair. And he's going to bet it.
That is 150.
Just out of curiosity, I'm not a big fan of slow playing or anything, but why not check one time?
Well, it's not really a coordinated board there, is it?
Exactly. It's ace-9 deuce rainbow. You know, there's no straight, there's no flush.
On the list?
No, he had.
He on the list?
He was on the list.
Go on the list.
And Ron there takes it down.
Take it down. I think we're driving our technical staff crazy, Bart.
Yeah. Well.
That's what we're here for, though.
Yes.
Oh, my God, Ron's got glasses. And that was a test, folks. We just wanted to see if we were going to distort when we got live. Had to come up with something. There we go. Once again, we are live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are $10 and $20.
And the pot is once again limped around. 10-3 deuce.
Boom.
Ron's flop bottom 2 pair.
Ron likes that deuce 3, doesn't he?
He's going to check it.
See, it's odd. I don't understand. He has top 2 pair in an uncoordinated flop, heads up, and he bets it. And here he has bottom 2, and he checks it.
He's got a flush draw now, too. Jack of clubs on the turn. He checks again.
Well, his guy's got to be scared. I mean, Jack 10, people play. I don't know. Odd play there by Ron, I got to tell you.
And now John Wong, he's going to bet with a pair of 3s. It's a $60 bet. Wow, and he just calls. Maybe he's scared. This is
And he smooth calls with bottom 2 pair. He wants to leave in the rest of the everybody
Right.
else? In case there's draws out there? I don't understand the play.
I don't understand that play at all.
Two players.
Well, here we go. He's in good shape. Deuce 3 against 3-4. The river's a club. He's made the flush. And it just gets checked down. He checks it to John Wong, and John checks behind him.
Yeah, it's an odd play by
What
Ron.
was going on there? I'll have to ask him about that
Yeah,
when
when
he
he
comes
comes
into the booth.
Well, it's just odd. I mean, we always like to say if somebody's going to be consistently, if you're going to bet all the time,
Yeah.
and somebody can't tell if you're bluffing or not bluffing, okay, it can really get kind of
Right,
messed
right.
up.
That one.
You know, you confuse players. But it's weird. He bets his top two pair, and then he checks that, a real
Well-
vulnerable bottom two pair.
Maybe he just thought that it would have been fishy, Dave, if he had checked with the ace on board there when he was heads up.
What's wrong with being fishy? Why not? I mean, Nick hasn't shown to be, a very proficient player here. Why not try to confuse him a little bit? Well, move on to the next hand, too.
Here we go with the flop. 8, 9, 3. Couple of diamonds. John Wong's got a flush draw.
You can record that. It's like every other hand. John
Yeah.
Wong's got a flush draw. He seems to always have a flush draw. Nick's here got the best hand here. He's got top pair.
120.
He's going to bet it.
$120 he bets. Let's see if John raises. No, he's going to call. Now, if the diamond doesn't come on the turn here, do you think John's going to raise big? And look at this. Ed's going to call with bottom pair. So we've got about a $500 pot here. The turn is a queen.
John's picked up a straight draw. Oh, he hasn't. I apologize, actually.
Seven.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
he has.
yeah,
They
he
both
does.
picked up straight draws. John and Ed.
And look at this. Nick bets 700 and John mucks it.
Oh, 700. That's
Yeah.
not quite getting the price to go for a flush. And Nick takes it down. Speaking of last night's show was an amazing show. So was the night before, actually. We've been getting poker celebrities and poker professionals every night here. And if you missed a show, you can still get it. You can go to the archives, click on the on-demand banner if you go to thebike.com, and just for $14.95, you can get access to Howard Lederer DVD and well over 1,000 hours of great cash game poker coverage.
Ron Rose is going to limp here with ace rag. Here we go with the flop king deuce 5. Looks like it got checked around there. The turn's a 9.
Gary picks up the best hand now. He's got a 9. 9-10 there in seat 1.
110 is the bet.
Nick is going to bet. Oh, excuse me, Nick. Yeah. I believe that Nick has bet.
Yeah, Nick bet
Yeah, Nick's
110.
bet. He's got
With
9,
the gut
10.
shot. And Gary's going to call now. The pair of 10-9s.
300.
Well, he's going to actually raise there. They both have the same hand.
Oh, I misread it, actually. I thought Brian was in there better. Once again, we are live. We see it like you do. Unedited, unscripted.
So a bet and a raise here by Nick.
Look at it, they have the same hand there, but Gary outplays Nick and takes it down.
Power of position there, Dave? Or the power of the check raise,
Power of
because
the
he
check
was
raise.
up front.
Well, I think Gary correctly read him of probably having a 9 also.
Yep.
And he figured, okay, well, just one pair of 9s is not very strong. I can probably get him off the hand.
Actually, we got a viewer here, Dopey from 2+2, is writing in that Nick Moe there in seat 4 actually placed 4th in the New Orleans World Series of Poker circuit event.
Oh, super. Well, thanks
So
a
there
lot.
you go.
Thank you, Dopey, for that information.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about him, and now we do.
I mean, is that possibly we can understand why he's playing so badly now because he's a tournament player? It's kind of like a pattern here we see on the show.
Yeah, well, he's gambling up. you
Yeah.
know. Obviously hasn't changed his style from tournament play
Yeah.
here.
Gary's got a flush draw there in seat 1, but Jason's going to bet here with Jack 10. But look at John Huang. He's got the better Jack,
300 is the raise.
and that's actually Hoff who bet there in seat 5 with the Jack 10, and John Huang is raised with his King Jack.
And Ed's thinking about it here. He's got second pair.
He's got the King of Diamonds, and
Wow.
he's going to call the bet and the raise
Now,
with
this
King
is a time,
9.
if you're Gary here, you definitely have the odds to go for it. You got one,
Yeah.
two, three players in there.
Yeah. The bet, I believe, was $100 initially, and it was a $300 raise, or 300 straight. And he makes the call. And now, if you're Hoff, what do you do here with Jack 10?
Oh, it's an immediate muck. You got to muck that. You got top pair. You got no kicker, really. You know, maybe you figure one of them's on a draw. Maybe even two of them. Maybe somebody's got queen 10. Maybe somebody's got diamonds. But now you have three people who called. You got to put somebody on a higher jack.
He's going to lay it down.
Good lay down by Hoff there.
So we're heads up. Or actually, and excuse me, Ed is still in the hand.
Yeah, Ed called there with the 9 there.
Yeah, and the turn is a deuce.
Now, gives Gary a couple more outs there. Now he needs a deuce or an ace. I'll give him the win also.
Dave, the pot's about $1,300.
300 is the bet.
And
800,
John
wow.
Wong's only going to bet about $800 here. So now it's a $2,100 pot, $800 to call.
And I'm not sure what Ed's thinking here. Ed's got a second pair.
Again, this might make Gary, because he picks up that deuce. If this guy calls, he
Wow.
might call now too, Dave, because he has more outs, the deuce or the ace, you think, possibly.
A deuce, an ace,
Yeah.
or maybe even if he puts somebody on Jack 9.
The
a
pot
deuce,
is now
an ace.
2,900,
Diamond.
800 to call. So it's a little over 3.5 to 1, Dave. He's got a flush draw. He can catch 2 more deuces, 3 more aces, that's 5 outs, and 9 diamonds.
Yeah, unless he puts somebody on a set here.
He's almost
gotta
getting
call.
2 to 1, and he is going to call the odds. And here we go, $3,700 pot. Here we
the
go
river.
to the river. The river is an ace, and that's one of Gary's outs. He's made aces up,
All in.
and someone's moved all in here.
He's all in.
And Ed moved all in. Ed moved all in with King 9, and Gary quickly called.
Wow.
Ed moved all in with King 9. Dave, the pot was $3,900 before. Let's see how much Ed has left. Looks like $2,500 more. So we are looking at a $9,000 pot there. Ed just bluffed off all of his chips. And again, it gets you back to the turn card. Gave Gary those additional outs, plus his flush draw. He's got a pair now. Spikes his 2 pair on the river.
Right.
And Ed moves all in.
Now, obviously, the ace was always an out. We know that.
Yeah.
But if he puts somebody on 2 pair,
Right.
he's got to think, oh, good, maybe if I hit my ace or a
Yeah.
2, I'm good. And obviously, he did think that. Or obviously, a diamond is the nuts.
Yep.
Wow. And Ed just gave money away. Just giving money away.
Well, hey, let's back it up there for a second, though, Dave. Now, obviously, with the amount of money in the pot, seat 1 made the call. But if you're sitting there with ace deuce, I mean, is it an instant call? You can be beat there, right?
Oh, without
if
a-
he had called with ace 9 in between.
Without a doubt, even if you put him on ace jack,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, Ed moved all in. It was only 25. I guess it was 2,500 more. So the pot was about $6,500. 2,500 to call. And again, I think you got to go through the range of hands.
Yeah, no,
but,
without a
C1
doubt.
made a quick call with ace deuce.
Obviously, Gary read him right because, I mean,
Yeah, and we're getting confirmations. 2,590 more. So The pot, Dave, was $9,000.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, there's a $9,000 ace in the river, huh?
Yep.
25.90.
That's 22. That's 23.20.
Unbelievable.
Well, there you go. Well, Ed said he was leaving, and he probably should have left a little bit earlier.
That is incredible.
Can you send a forklift for me, please?
Like I said, though, C1 didn't take any time to call there. But
No,
again, if you
he
back
obviously
it up,
picked something up there.
yeah.
I got both of them up to the river. Oh, of course I did.
Wow. Seat number 1 picks up a $9,000 pot, and only probably maybe $3,500 of that is his own money. Probably picked up $5,000 there,
Yeah,
or $5,000.
And Ed
of
put
money.
himself in a position where he had to bluff. I'm not sure. I mean, he's going in there. I mean, the king wasn't even out because John Wong
drawing
had
totally
king
dead
jack.
there on the turn.
Oh no, he needs a 9 would have given the win actually.
Well, excuse me, yeah, the 9,
A
the
non-diamond
2-pair
9.
kicker.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was just that's some bad poker.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And obviously, it's not an easy call if somebody thinks about it. He goes, well, maybe the ace made him 2-pair also, and obviously it would be a higher 2-pair.
Uh-huh.
Ace 9, ace jack, or something like that. But, whew, wow. Gary made a great call there. And ship it.
Wow. Unbelievable. We're on to the next hand. Brian's going to raise here with ace-king suited.
That is 220.
$220 bet. Oh, small blind's going to call with ace-9 suited there, Dave.
Beating call on a turn.
And Hoff has got king-jack of clubs. And he's in bad shape if clubs come because the small blind has the ace-9. Or ace-7, excuse me, of clubs.
220.
Oh,
Looks like it was a $220 raise.
huh? He said no, right? He's going to gamble with him. He's coming back. Oh, he is?
Wow,
So
he has called.
about a $650 pot here.
Oh, is he leaving? He's gone?
King, deuce, 3.
It's a nice flop for ace king.
And let's see if Hoff is going to get in trouble. He's in kicker trouble.
You beat the 9, huh?
He checks.
Yeah, Jack.
Again, $650 pot. And, Brian doesn't really have that many chips, so if Hoff gets tricky and check raises them all in, he's going to call.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Brian's only got about, I'm going to estimate there, about 1,400, 1,500 there.
700.
Obviously, an easy lay down for Sam here.
Yep, and that's exactly what happened, Dave. He bet 700, and Hoff check raises him all in, and Brian quickly calls.
All in call. Dana.
So
Strong
here we
dead
go
to a
with
jack.
another big pot. Turn is a king. And the river's a 6, and Brian takes it down there with the ace-king. I just could smell that coming, Dave. It's just...
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Brian didn't have enough money for
Yeah.
Hoff to get away from it, I
Yeah.
think. And,
Yeah.
when you call a $200 raise with king jack,
Yeah.
you don't want a king deuce 3 with 2-diamond board. That's not the board you're looking for.
Well,
You got to know that your hand can be dominated very badly. And we're getting word that Gary in seat 1, the one that just won the $9,000 pot, his favorite player is Barry Greenstein. And it's amazing. We are like a cereal box.
yeah. Dave, that's about a $3,000 pot right there.
Little factoids we have all over the place. It's great.
$3,000 pot.
Money flying around here at the Bicycle Casino.
Crazy action.
People just giving money away.
Yeah.
Once again, if you want to give your money away, you can go ahead and mail it to Bart and Dave at the Bicycle Casino. We're in Bell Gardens, California.
I should have known.
No need to play poker. Just give it away.
What'd you have?
4 5.
And some more information here. Brian's favorite player is Daniel Negreanu.
I call the pre-flop. I got to call it.
I'm sure he...
If I pay $200 and some dollars,
it's a common thing with a lot of poker players, Dave.
my head.
I think Brian actually likes him, though. Likes him.
Oh, like in that way?
In that way. I was actually playing with Daniel at the World Series, and
Like not funny, haha.
right, no funny, no haha. Hey, we're in Los Angeles here, 2005. Nothing wrong with it. Hey.
Brian just takes down another big pot.
Yeah, it's a call.
Got a question here from me Tarzan on 2+2, and we are planning to have Ron Rose come in here at the end of the show and do some guest commentating. You're actually going to be leaving us a little early tonight, and he's going to come in and finish up the show.
Yep.
So there you go.
400.
I've got myself a little Hollywood party to go to. I'm going to leave you.
Oh, really?
Look at that, 7-8 of diamonds, 7-8 of clubs.
Pocket 10s for Gary. And he's the raiser, it looks like.
Yeah, it's on.
But Hoff re-raised. The $100 raise by Pocket 10s, and Hoff is re-raised to 400 with Ace 10.
You can't spell steaming without Hoff. I mean,
Yeah.
what is going on here? Hoff.
Gary's asking Hoff, how much do you have?
Well, I'm wondering too.
I can't hurt you too much.
Nick is in there with that little suited connector, too.
And if the lovely Donna would just move over 2 steps, we can see for ourselves. There she goes.
Show he raised 3 more. Huh?
And there it is. It looks like about, I'm going to estimate about $1,100, $1,200 more.
Looks like Hoff is going to, Gary's going to make the smooth call. Let's see if Nick comes in with the suited connector. Oh, maybe he doesn't have enough money in front of him. He's going to muck it. So we're heads up here, Dave. About an
And Hoff's in
$800
really bad
pot.
shape.
Ace 10 against Pocket 10s. Pretty good flop for Pocket 10s. If Hoff if he pushes here, he's going to lose all his money, Dave.
400.
He bets 400 into an $800 pot.
Smells
Let's see
like Ace King, Ace Queen, doesn't it?
Or it smells like a trap, either one.
Right. Certainly doesn't smell like, Queens
Look
or
at
Kings.
Gary. I think he's going to lay it down, Dave. He lays it down.
Wow.
Gary lays down Pocket 10s, and Hoff takes it down there with Ace 10. Wow.
It's amazing. Gary makes a call there at Ace Deuce, right? For like $4,000.
Yeah.
He calls a raise with Pocket 10s, gets a flop like that, and then throws his hand away. I mean, I guess he figured he picked up a read or something. Obviously, his read here was wrong.
Really?
You think?
Oh, we're getting word that John Huang's wife is here.
Oh,
Just going to add a little flavor to the webcast.
without a doubt. Just not the same without.
Oh, there she
There
is.
she is. Delightful smile. It's like it was on cue,
Spot looks like it's limped around here. Hoff actually has ace jacks, Abraham's got ace jack suited in the big blind. He chooses to check it.
He lost for you.
6-4-8, rainbow flop. Looks like Hoff has the best hand here, Dave, with a pair of sixes and a gut shot.
But Nick's hit his gut shot.
The
And
turn
Hoff-
is a 5.
Hoff's
Look at
made
that.
2 pair.
Yep. And Hoff looks like he bet. And let's see what Nick does here in position. He's got a made straight. Hoff got to know that there's... Look at this. He smooth calls in position.
Not to mention I have triple here.
And the river is a 9. And Hoff is going to check.
That is 500.
And Nick bets 500. Dave, I want to say the pot is now about 1,600, 500 for Hoff to call. He led on the turn. Nick smooth called the turn in position. And Hoff has checked the river. $1,600 pot, 500 to call.
And remember, Hoff bought into this game for $4,000. And he's already down to about $1,400. Actually, no, that's $1,800 now, sorry.
Look at those sunglasses. Looks like he's got a Big East Conference shirt on there too, Dave. Again, $1,600 pot, 500 to call, 1 card straight there to the board. 7 would make any straight. Hoff has 2 pair. Nick has the straight. And look at this, Dave. I think. Whoa! I thought he's asking for time. Oh, excuse me, not Big East, Big Breast. Excuse me, a hunting contest shirt.
There you go. It's almost the same thing, right? This is like, I must say, I'm really enjoying myself. It's kind of like a show from the Twilight Zone tonight.
Oh, he's going to lay it down there, and Nick takes it down.
Lay it down.
What was different on the river that was there on the turn? I had you on the 7, ace 7, or pocket 7.
You got a good call. But it was the
same thing on the turn, so you couldn't bet the turn with yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Good luck next year.
And Dave, we've just seen some crazy action. We're only about an hour and 15 minutes into the show.
Yeah, and so far, definitely Gary being the big winner in seat 1.
And we're hoping that seat 9 is going to come back in there. Ed.
Yeah, hopefully. Gary Doe out of Duluth, Georgia. Definitely our big winner so far.
I mean, we got big tournament.
Ed.
We got tournament players on the table. You know, Nick in seat 4, John Wong, Ron Rose. Ed's playing, I guess, like a tournament player in seat 9.
Yeah, Ed Sean Nazarian out of Los Angeles.
Looks like John Wong is raised to 100 with 9-10 suited. Ron Rose is going to come in. And Abraham's going to play with the ace-6 suited. $300 pot here to the flop.
Come on, diamonds. 4-5 suited is actually one of my favorite hands. I don't know why. I mean, I've won a lot of big pots with it. I think I have an attachment to it.
Oh, ace, jack, deuce. Abraham's got top pair. Let's see if he check raises. John Wong's going to bet 300 here. See if Abraham has been astutely watching the way that John plays. He check calls.
Wow, and he would fold against most players there, but against John, he calls.
It's a $900 pot. The turn's a 9. Gives John a pair now.
See if Abraham puts a little stop bet in there.
Look at him stare down John.
Abraham's only got about $1,000, right?
And it goes check, check here, Dave, and the river's a 5.
Not really much of a draw out there. You gotta almost put Abraham on an ace.
It's about a $900 pot. Let's see if Abraham bets now. He bets 300. And again, you're right, Dave. He doesn't have that much. Is Wong going to make the call here with the 9? I mean, what possibly could Abraham have?
Well, yeah, he called $300 on the flop, and
Yeah.
it's like, what do you think he called with a pocket with a pair of deuces?
Or with king queen or something like that?
He called $300 for a gut shot. It would be an odd play.
Yeah. I think John really needs to lay this one down. It's now a $1,200 pot, 300 for John to call. And he lays it down. And Abraham takes down the pot.
Nice pot there by Abraham. And we've lost Ed in seat 9, but we have replaced him with one of my favorites. He rarely plays in this game because he doesn't like people to get a hold of his game, but it's Jason in seat 9.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
And Jason is action.
Yep.
The only one is he wants?
Is he wearing a choker?
Looks like it.
Okay.
Looks like he's eating a tropical fruit bowl.
He's actually a really, really nice guy.
I'm trying to learn how to play.
I was actually talking to him last night, convincing him to come tonight because I was telling him how good the games were. I said, come on down. And,
Where's his little fan that he usually has?
Maybe he's not hot. I'm not sure.
No, I'm serious. No, seat 8, right?
But he is a professional poker player as well. He's also a professional gambler. He'll gamble on sports and gamble on poker. And when I say gamble, I mean gamble.
Gamble. Yeah.
And professional. That's his. That's the way he makes his income.
Looks like a Hoff there raised with Jack 10 suited, and he's going to take it down in position there. Oh, here's the chip count, Dave. So look at Gary. He's got $8,300 there. John Wong, he had rebought for, I believe it was $5,000, so he's down again $1,300 and makes him down about 3,500 to 4,000 for the day. Brian's up about $2,000. Ron's just going to be sitting around there. Nick's down a little bit. Hoff is down. And Abraham, I think he's trucking along around even. And Sam, we haven't really heard much from him over there in C3.
Yeah, Ron's up like $500, but I don't think he's maximized his wins, I must say.
I believe that seat 4 here has raised with Ace King of Hearts. And the flop is a 6-9-4, a couple of diamonds.
Yeah, not a very good flop when you get 6 callers with Ace King of Hearts, huh?
And John over there in seat 7, he called with 2 suited cards, Dave, and he's picked up top 2 pair, and he's going to bet it.
Yeah, he's got that. He's got a backdoor flush draw as well.
Nick's going to muck, and he's going to take it down. Bet your good hands, bet your bluffs, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think he was kind of hoping somebody had a big pair. Maybe somebody had Ace-9 or something like that.
What's he eating there? Candy bar?
Looks like it. But it's hard to get a read on him if he's betting his, if he's betting his made hands and he's betting his bluffs. It's harder to get a read on him. Although tonight, I'll say one thing: players have been picking him off left and right, huh?
You know what my favorite candy bar is? It doesn't get a lot of attention there, Dave. The Skor bar. S-K-O-R. Chocolate, taffy. What else would you need, Have you had the Skor bar before?
I think I have. I don't remember it, to be honest with you. You'll have to bring one in for me.
Okay. King, king, queen here. Redness on the flop. Ron's got a queen 10 over there in seat 8.
Every time I see the name Ron up there, I keep thinking Ron Jeremy. But Ron Rose is clearly not Ron Jeremy.
Hoff there, I think he made a bet there with ace high in position, and he's going to take it down. So Ron's played pretty tight. Big breast 16. Again, maybe a hunting contest or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Your guess is as good as mine right now.
Yeah. Limp, limp.
What hand do you need to have?
And we've got 4-way action. $80 pot to the flop. Ace 4-5.
Ron's open-ended here. Now look at this. So is Nick.
85.
And Ron's going to bet. He's going to bet 85. Love to bet those draws with an ace on board there, Dave, in position. The ultimate scare card. Nick is going to check call. Here we go to the turn. The turn is a 3, and now Ron's made the nut straight.
And now Nick's got an open-ended straight draw plus bottom pair.
And it looks like he's going to lead.
225.
He bets 225, and Ron, he's got the nut straight over there in position.
Trying to plan out what he's going to do here.
Pot's about $500, 225 to call.
And Ron put some chips out there.
Look, he's raised. He made it 500 straight there, Dave.
It's a nice raise. About minimum raise there. And Nick better not get too fancy with this one, or he's going to...
Yep.
He's actually drawing dead.
It looks like he made the call.
I raised. Yes, sir. I raised.
Oh, he's re-raising, Dave.
Oh, wow. He's re-raising into the nuts.
He's re-raising, it looks like $425 more, so we've got about a $1,200 to $1,300 pot.
And can you think of anything better? Not only does Ron have the top part of that straight, but there's no flush possibility. There's 4. You got Paducah
So
on
do
the
you
board.
smooth call here, then?
No. Move all in.
Okay. Well, and
Definitely
that's
move in.
exactly what he's going to do. He's going to push all in.
Yeah.
He's going to push all in.
Because you got to put, at this point, you put the guy on a set or 2 pair, the way he's, bet,
Yep.
then raised, then re-raised.
Dave, the pot was about $1,800 before the all-in. Now he's got a call for $500 more, plus it looks like another $700. So we're talking about a $3,000 pot here, plus $700 to call.
And once again, these players never disappoint. We point out the deficiencies in Ed's game, and then sure enough, he bluffs off his chips.
Yeah.
We point out the deficiencies in Nick's game, and then sure enough, he makes a play like this right into the nuts.
Yep. And like you said, he is drawing dead.
Yes.
Again, I believe it's 700 more, and the pot is... Oh, we're getting word it's actually 1,400 more.
And I like Ron's play. I don't mind Ron's play here because you're looking at going, this guy's probably got a set or two pair, and he's going to move it all in.
So that means that the pot is actually $3,700. 1,400 to call.
6, 7, and
Good eye.
I don't think 2-6 is any good.
What's that?
I don't think 2-6 is any good.
Nick says, I don't think 2-6 is any good. Well,
2-6 on?
he doesn't have 2-6.
Too bad. Hard to believe.
Yeah, 6, 7.
Wow.
You mark 2-6?
Way better now.
And Ron takes it down.
And I think, is that Don Johnson behind the table?
Yeah. Or is that Vince Van Patten?
I'm not sure. I wasn't, though. Oh, there it is.
It's Hollywood. Everybody's an actor in
What
Hollywood.
the?
Once again, we have no explanation. And look at
Can we
that.
get another shot at that, Isaac? I don't know if he's still around.
Ron plays it tight, 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 and then boom, gets paid off when he gets
Do
the
you
nuts.
like the white sports coat, too?
Hey, man. How are you?
Yeah, he's got white pants, too.
Yeah, sunshine.
Well, he's sporting his Labor Day linens there, you know?
Yeah.
Here at the bike, we give away money, we're well dressed. It happens here.
Oh, wow.
Hey, there are some guys that can pull that off, you know?
Six-way action here. Pot is limped around. And seat 5 is going to raise out of the big blind. It's got king-queen suited. You know, John Huang immediately makes a call with ace-7 of hearts.
It's suited, are you kidding me?
And look at Jason. He's in there with 9-10 offsuit. Gary calls with pocket threes. And Sam's in there with 9-3 of diamonds. And look at Nick. He's got queen-6 offsuit. Seems to be his favorite hand.
Oh, he
right?
loves that. Well, this is a nice night. We got a couple of really tight players in there. You know, pretty solid ABC-type players. Then a couple of really guys that just kind of mix it up with anything. Should make for some great poker over the next couple hours.
Oh, Sam mucks. I thought Sam called.
I get it now.
And Nick is going to muck his hand. So we've got four-way action. It's a $400 pot. King, Jack, 9. So Hoff has top pair here, and he's got a gut shot, backdoor diamond draw.
Pretty good flop for Gary here with pocket threes.
Oh, I got that one.
And Hoff is going to bet 500 into a $400 pot. $900 pot now. 500 to call. Jason quickly mucks. Gary mucks. And Hoff's going to take it down.
Take it down.
That's my number 80.
You win nothing.
Bet 150, you lose them all.
Big one thing.
80 savings, nothing late.
You have a teacher behind you.
And I actually asked Jason about, you know, because I know he lives in Los Angeles.
He teach you how to play?
And I asked him about
Oh, partner.
about why he doesn't live in Vegas, being a gambler and a sports bettor and so forth.
Yeah.
And he said the action is just too good in L.A. And what he'll do is he'll fly down to Vegas when he really likes some sort of he likes a bet or something like that.
Of course, you can make sporting bets on the internet. I think it's the same gray area as playing poker on the internet. No one really knows if it's legal or not. So
Right.
no one's really enforcing it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Five-way action here. Limped around. Ace-7 king. Two players have flush draws. Look at this. Hoff has got a gut shot. Nick has got top pair. Abraham has a pair. And it gets checked to Nick, and he's going to bet it. 130. Ace-Jack offsuit. Got top pair
and
there.
this Nick also has a jack of hearts there, so the heart does come. He's got a backdoor draw.
Huang is going to call with the flush draws. Sam's in there with the flush draw.
Sam's pretty loose also. I know that.
Turns the 4 of diamonds. Oh, look at this. John Wong's picked up an open-ended straight draw now, Dave. And you know how he loves to check raise all in with these big draws. You wonder if Nick puts a bet in here if Huang's going to check raise.
500.
$500 bet there by Nick.
Wow. It's just
And
a smooth
John
call.
just calls. Maybe he figures his jaw's so big he wants the guy in behind him. Pot is now about $1,600. We're going to see the river. The river is an ace. John does not get there. Nick is going to bet. $700 bet, and John's going to muck. You know, maybe Nick didn't really have enough money where John thought he could get him off the hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, if he fires twice, you got to think he's got at least an ace, right?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
And that was one of those I surrender hands.
Yep.
There's a close-up of our $100 chips and our $10 chips.
$100 chips in this casino, Dave, aren't they made out of a different material than the other chips? They're almost wooden, aren't they? Or either that or it's a different plastic composite, but they definitely feel different.
I think they're clay.
They're clay?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the 50-cent chips.
No, I think they're like 11.5 gram clay, like a real good clay, as opposed to like our $5 chips, which are plastic.
Right.
I believe.
Oh, the pot is limped around here.
You can go back and forth all
King 10 king.
Yeah, our half flop 2 pair here. Our $100 chips are actually new. We just recently got those, the smaller $100 chips.
Oh, okay.
So they might feel just newer and a little fresher to you.
Turn is a 6. Hoff did not bet with
In
Jack
position,
10 in
wow.
position. Well, now he's going to bet on the turn. 225. And he's going to take it down.
Here. Oh, cash game. I raise.
Then go back.
See the guy move?
Oh, I thought
Wait.
you were taking a bluff.
Once the guy acts, it's over.
Not that way, man.
So you can pause. You can pause as long as you want. And then you watch him, see he's going to call. He's going to call you a bit more.
No, not that way.
Small blind, big
Not the
blind.
way you were talking. No, not
Small
the
blind.
way. You said you grab it 80.
Yeah, cash game.
I raise.
As long as it's not obviously trying to,
It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay, but
And the button is in seat 7. Blinds are in seat 8 and seat 9.
Again, we're dealing with 10, 20 blinds here. So we see 2 yellow chips, which are $5 chips, which equals 10, and 2 brown chips, which are $10 chips, equals 20.
Now, if you continue the math, 3 red chips would be 30.
I can't count that high.
And 6 would be 60 and so forth.
Abraham's going to raise here. He's got ace-king suited. Looks like it was 120.
Once again, ABC there. Ace-king
Yeah.
suited, in position, boom.
Now,
he raises
if
it up.
you're Ron, wouldn't you muck this hand without a question? Or maybe you think Abraham's maybe putting a position raise in?
Nah, see, I mean, not
But
Abraham.
he hasn't really played it that way all
Yeah,
night.
I don't like the call here by Ron.
Yeah, he's going to call with king-queen offsuit.
You know?
Nick is in there with king 10 offsuit, and Hoff is in there with ace-7.
Yeah, I'm really
And
surprised
obviously,
Ron
look at
made
this.
this
Abraham dominates everyone here.
call. And of course, Hop out flops him.
5-7-6. And Hoff looks like he's going to bet.
you're not going to let me bet it for you and make you raise me?
300.
Yeah, and Abraham, he just, like you said, he just plays it straightforward there.
Well,
doesn't
you know,
he?
he's smart. He goes, okay,
Yeah.
the board's kind of coordinated. I raised 120. I got called in
Yeah.
3 spots. Board comes out 5-7-6 with 2 hearts. Bye-bye. My ace-king of diamonds is no good. You know?
And
Because he's
Hoff-
got to look at that. He's got to also look at it and go, well, let's say this guy has, like, even if the guy has 2 hearts, and I have 2 diamonds here, I've got to think maybe my ace of hearts and the king of hearts, those aren't outs anymore. So it's an easy laydown.
I had 2 overs.
Really questionable call there by Ron, though. And the small blind calling with king, queen
Well,
offsuit.
how about Nick, who had limp called with king 10 off there in the
I
field?
expect that from
You
Nick
just
at this
expect
point.
it, yeah.
Well, from Nick, I mean, he's shown that, but Ron,
Yeah.
you know, supposedly one of the world's premier players, you know, writes a book, and he's really done
Right.
great on the World Poker Tour and stuff. But in a cash game, to play king, queen offsuit against a player like Abraham,
Right.
you know, it's not like Abraham just sat down. He's been here for about an hour and a half already.
Looks like Nick just limped with pocket jacks over there in seat 4. Here we go. King deuce 7. Couple of spades. And look at this. Sam's going to bet right into the flush draw. And now if you're sitting there with jacks, wow, he makes a call, Dave. Maybe he's going to see if 8-10 is going to fire again here on the turn.
He doesn't have the jack of spades in his hand, so.
It's about a $320 pot. The turn is a 10 of clubs. Oh, he doesn't have the jack of spades.
Yeah, when you limp in with jacks, though, you gotta
Yeah.
figure you might be vulnerable here. But
And now 8-10 picks up a pair, and he bets again, and Nick calls him again. And the river is the flush card. It's a queen.
well, now you can't beat anything. You can't beat the king. You can't beat the flush draw.
Yeah. And he's going to muck it there, Dave. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I will say is if you put the guy in the flush draw and not on a king,
Yeah.
then you go, okay. But then once obviously the queen of spades comes out, then you can't beat anything.
Right.
I'm not sure if Nick put him on, actually was reading him as his flush draw, or just didn't want to get away from the hands. And once again, thank you, Russ, on 2+2 for the
Avatar.
avatar. Thank you.
Again, if you want to follow this show and make questions, comments, suggestions, get yourself read on the air, you can go to 2plus2.com, spelled out, click on forums, click on Tournament Poker, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments. And the official Live at the Bike Parade for 820.
150.
Well, seat number 9 there. Jason, he's going to raise. He's got a suited connector. He makes it 120 to go.
He's very similar to John Wong in the sense of he will raise in position. He knows the power of position.
Sam actually has a better hand here from up front, ace-10, so we're heads up. Jack 9-3. Jason's got a
Jason's
pair.
outflopped him.
Jason has bet 400, and Sam's going to muck. Boy, that's the first hand we've seen Jason play in, 2 or 3 rounds, Dave. Maybe he's just trying to feel the table out a bit.
Yeah,
A lot of people come into a no-limit game, and they won't play for the first half an hour. Not
Right.
necessarily a bad...
I think it's a great
It's,
strategy.
yeah, it's not a bad strategy, right?
I actually like Jason's game. If he just kind of tone it down a little bit and pick his spots better, he'd be a really, really dangerous player because it's
Yeah.
tough to put him on a hand.
Much like Patrick, he's going to bet the hands where he's bluffing and bet his good hands, too.
Right. The only difference, though, with Patrick is when Patrick starts steaming, he just bluffs up his money and throws it away. Like
Yeah.
last night, I watched him throw away $4,000.
Yeah.
Jason's not going to do that. He will, Jason will bluff at a pot and make a mistake, but he's more like John Huang than Patrick in the sense of. But it's tough to put him on a hand. I'll give him that.
Limped around here. Nick got top pair there, king 5-9. And they got checked around. Nick did not bet on the king. Turn is an 8.
Well, now Nick's picked up a straight draw as well.
Yep. Muck and a muck. Well, in between hands here, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about that hand that you were talking to me about before the broadcast regarding Allen and Patrick and the third player?
Yeah, it was really interesting, actually. The game was crazy. Kenna James actually grabbed my arm and said, "Watch this hand."
Yeah.
And I look at the table, and it looked like 6 players had called a raise by Allen, original raise, of about $250. And I'm looking, wow, this is it's already a $1,500 pot.
Yeah.
And if we cut to the hand, obviously, then we'll come back to the story in a second. But so it's a $1,500 pot, and it gets to Patrick, and Patrick figures, why not try to steal it? So Patrick raised it $1,000 more, made it $1,250 to go. The player to his left, trying to isolate Patrick, makes it $2,200 to go. $2,250 actually, raised it an additional $1,000.
Wow.
Isolating Patrick.
Ooh, Nick has flopped the flush there in seat 4. He's in early position. King 6 Jack. Ron was the original raiser with pocket 10s. Turns a 4.
Let's see the acting job here by Nick.
He's going to get checked around again, and the river is an 8. And he bets $100. I wonder if that might be just enough for Ron to call there. He's got pocket 10s.
The pot's about what, $200 or so?
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to make the call, and Nick shows the nut flush there with ace 8.
There you
So the
go.
guy to his left re-raises him.
The guy re-raised him to $2,250.
Yeah.
Kenna folds, another player folded, and so forth. And it gets back to Allen, who was the original raiser, and he looks at pocket queens.
For 200, he had made it to
Yeah,
250.
exactly.
Yeah.
And he looks at pocket queens, and he's sitting there, and he's thinking. He goes, he didn't put Patrick on anything, but he thought maybe the guy to his left had a real hand.
Now, mind you, the people that watch this show know that Allen is usually on the short stack, but he had actually won a big pot, so he had like $5,000 in front
Oh
of him.
yeah, he had
which
like
makes a difference.
$7,000, and
Yeah.
he decided to save his winnings for the night. And he throws away his queens. The flop comes out 6 deuce deuce. Patrick moves in for another $2,500. The player to his left quickly calls, and the player to his left takes down the pot with ace high.
Ace
Ace queen.
Ace queen. Wow.
And he made the play. And when I asked him later about the play, he said that he figured ace queen was probably the best hand. He was willing to gamble a little bit, and he wanted to isolate Patrick, who he figured was just giving money away.
Oh, Nick has flopped a set of threes here. King 6-3 on board.
Oh, look at that. Nick flops the flush, the nut flush, and then a set of threes.
And he's bet. And Abraham has called here with 4-5. Interesting.
Well, now, look
Oh,
at
the
this.
turn is an 8, and he picks up a flush draw now.
And the open-ended straight draw.
Yeah.
Wow.
And here we go to the river. The river's a queen. He doesn't get there. And he's just going to muck it anyways there, Dave. Yeah.
4-5 a heart.
He had the open-ended straight draw on the flop. Picked up a flush draw on the turn. And
Didn't even wait for Nick to bet. He just mucked his hand. But the game, that was a sample hand from last night.
yeah. And again, if you're a player like Alan, who maybe he doesn't have as big a poker bankroll as some of the other players playing on the table, and he had a really good night, is he like, well, do I want to throw away my entire money that I've won tonight by pushing in with pocket queens?
Well, I don't mind the laydown there. It's one of those things going, Patrick's got garbage.
Yeah.
But the player to his left could have anything from ace king, ace queen to pocket kings, pocket aces. It's not a terrible laydown there with queens, especially in a cash game. He's only in a pot for $200. Does he really want to risk $5,000 or $6,000?
Pot is limped around here. Ace King 10. Rainbow flop.
I called 300 fast. I figured I got a bargain.
Nick is going to bet $100 there.
I say for a tournament player, Ron doesn't really get out of line. It's pretty straightforward, isn't it?
He seems that way. I mean, the only questionable hand we've seen him do is play that deuce 3 of clubs so passively. When he flopped bottom 2, picked up a flush draw, made it on the river, and just...
Yeah, the three hands I would question is that one. The other time where
the pre-flop raise with King Queen, the call with King Queen.
And then the ace 9 where he flopped 2 pair, top 2. And
Well.
the board was so uncoordinated.
Raise it.
Hey, we can't change it up so much, Dave, where we're going to criticize somebody for fast playing.
Well, I just didn't understand why he would slow play bottom 2 pair and then bet his top 2 pair.
Well, seat 1 raised with ace jack offsuit. Seat 3 called with ace king. Nick is in there a deuce 6 offsuit, and we've got a little pot here.
5 players.
75 times 5. $375 pot. Jack 9-4. That's a pretty good flop raise. Jack and Gary bets. It's the original raiser. He bets 300. Jason's got an open-ended straight draw over there in seat 9. And he's going to make the call. Oh, the turn's a king. It's a third diamond, and Gary's got the ace of diamonds in his hand.
Oh, this is fireworks here.
And look at this. Jason's going to bet right in here.
600.
He bet $600.
Not sure if Gary knows Jason here. And that's the danger of going for an open-ended straight draw when there's two flush on the board.
Yeah.
He does not have the nuts, obviously.
And let's see what Gary does here. I think he's raising, Dave. He's got a green chip in his hand. He's raised to $2,000. $600 bet. Gary has raised to $2,000, exactly what Jason has in front of him. And boy, we're talking about, it was $1,000 when Jason put that bet in. $1,600. And he's going to make the call. It's about a $3,600 pot, or $5,600 pot. The river's a 9, and Jason's going to take it down there with Queen 10.
Pocket ace, ace of diamond.
Yeah.
Wow, great hand.
And Jason actually put him on pocket aces with the ace of diamonds. He was half right. And Jason doubles up there. Just like that. And one thing about Jason, he wins a pot or two, he gets more dangerous. And more,
1800.
gambles even more.
Yes, sir.
Again, it was a $600 bet on the turn, a raise to $2,000, which was what Jason had in front of him. Jason called. It's about a $5,000 pot there, Dave. There's about $1,000 of action before that street.
Nice hand, sir.
$300 bet on the flop and a one caller, $4,600 and about $400 in action.
Right, and then a
For that.
$600 bet on the turn, and then a $2,000 raise. So I mean, $5,200 right on the turn went in there. So could be over $6,000 even, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jason had 2,000 total or 2,000 more. If he had
Oh.
2,000 more, it would have been
Right.
6,000. Yeah.
Either way, just another big pot.
Yep.
And Gary gives some of that winnings back a little bit. That's a big semi-bluff play there. He's got a pair, he's got ace, diamonds, but unfortunately it didn't work.
Well, there we got a new chip count, which is a couple minutes old, obviously. So Gary probably dropped, I don't know, 2,300. Oh, actually, that's including the pot, Dave. So Gary's at 5,300.
He was just at about 8,800 just a little while ago. so-
Jason moved up there to 5,000, and he had bought in for about, I don't know, 2,500 maybe. Brian chugging along there at 4,200. Ron with 3,400. Hoff with 3,000. And the rest of the players are about 2,000 or less there. Five-way action. Limped around once again. $100 pot. 9-6-5, couple of diamonds. Look at Nick. He's got top pair over there with deuce 9. He checks it. The turn is a 6, and that gives Jason in seat 9 trips, and he's on a roll, Dave.
100.
And he's going to bet it. It's like $100. And Nick's going to call, and he's in big trouble. He's got to have to catch the 9 there on the river. And we're heads up, deuce 9 against 6-8. And the river's an 8. It's a third diamond, and it brings a straight, work hard straight to the board, Dave, and it's just going to get checked down. And Jason
Jason was
take
hoping
it
for a
down
bluff
there.
there because Jason got a full house there.
Yeah, he actually hit the 8 there on the river.
Yeah,
And
he was
checked
trying
it.
to induce a bluff, and
Yep.
it didn't work. He was hoping that Nick had a 7,
Yep.
and he was going
That's
to.
right, he made a full house there, a great full house card. Because
Yeah,
it was an
and that's what he
8
was hoping.
And a diamond, right?
And he was hoping that the guy had made 9s and 8s or something,
Right,
or
right.
9 and or had a 7 and made a
Or had a
straight.
flush draw.
Exactly.
Yep.
Obviously, it didn't work. One thing about Ron, you see, every single time we get to the chip count, he doesn't go up a lot, but he goes up a couple $100. It's kind of like a little turtle in the race, you know. He's not going to run ahead, but he's going to finish this race, and
Oh, there's a great look at the lamb kebab here at the
slowly but surely add to his stack. I'm a big fan of the lamb kebab.
Pot is limped around here again. Ace 5-5 rainbow flop. John's going to bet here with nothing. Look at this. Jason smooth calls here with deuce 10. Wow.
Jason is one of those players, he follows Doyle Brunson's rule of poker where if I win a pot, I always play the next pot. And he's won 2 pots, and he's going to win. And I guarantee
Well, look
you,
at this. John checks and Jason bets, and he's going to take it down.
Well, John's got nothing. I neither does
Yeah.
Jason, but that's the power of position. And I guarantee you, Jason will play the next pot, no matter what 2 cards he has, because he's now won 3 in a row.
Yep.
Bác cho thêm vai không? Bác cho thêm vai không? Buông cây hay chậm mấy thấy không?
Pocket queens over there for seat 9. He's on a roll.
Well, I
Jason.
think he would have played this hand with any 2 cards. He's certainly going to play it with queens.
Yeah.
Just call.
He's now won 3 in a row.
Yes, sir. Now there's a seat.
And
Make it 100.
He's going to raise here to 100.
this is when it starts getting dangerous, because they don't give him credit for a hand, and this is when he actually picks up a hand.
Abraham is called here, and John Wong is called.
Jason is on fire.
Here we go.
Oh,
Abraham outflops him. Ace 4-4. He's going to check. John checks. And look at this. He bets $50.
he gets all the information he needs.
And Abraham calls.
2 players.
There's no draw out there.
Yeah. Turns an ace.
And you think about it, Jason can't beat an ace or a 4, so.
Yeah, and Jason knows that, and the river is a king.
Right. He's a very good player. I mean, in that sense, he's very smart. You see a flop like 4-4 ace. There's no flush draw out there. There's no straight draw really out there. I mean, somebody could have a gut shot. But if somebody
Look at
calls
this, though.
him-
He's going to make the call on the river. It was a little $50 bet there on the river, and Jason makes the call. Wow.
Well, a $50 bet, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of a value call to figure out what this guy had and how he plays. But he looks at he's not going to lose a lot of money on that flop. There's no way.
Play the board.
Well, there's a nice little value bet there. $50 by Abraham.
It's a big house.
Change small one. Huh? Do a small
20.
You're big one. You small.
You change it. Small ones. Thank you. Seat open, Donna. And raise to 120.
And Jason here has raised, I believe, to 120.
70 only.
Oh, it's 70.
You're giving that and a nickel. 70 only. It was raised to 70.
Oh.
I got a $70 hand, you got a $100 hand. I'm in trouble.
Jack 4-3. Hoff picks up a wheel draw. Check here. Turns a queen. Jason's open-ended now. Or excuse me, he's picked up top pair. He's going to bet it. That's 200.
I imagine Jason's going to take this down here. Once again, we are live at the bike. Unscripted, unedited. We see it like you do, so once in a while. Even we make mistakes.
Yeah, Hoff's going to lay it down.
And Jason takes it down.
There's no way. Possible.
We've got a new player coming into the game, Dave. It's Russ.
And I'm going to go on
Is that movie star Russ or Russ Fox?
I would bet
Yeah.
it's movie star Russ. There's
Yeah.
no way that Russ Fox is playing in this game.
Why, you don't think Russ Fox has the skills for this game?
I think Russ would get killed in this game. To be honest.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure. You know, if he wasn't scared to play with
Yeah.
the money,
Yeah.
I think he'd do fine. The problem is that I don't think he's comfortable playing at these limits, though.
Oh.
I mean, obviously, otherwise he would, wouldn't he?
I mean, it would make sense, but we don't really know that, so I'm not
No,
gonna
I
go so
don't
far
know.
as
But
that.
I would assume though,
Yeah.
if you are comfortable playing these limits and you think you're a good poker player, and obviously he does,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you play these limits?
Maybe he thinks it's just easier at the lower limits playing ABC.
5 players.
I guess so.
5-way action here, limped around.
I don't know. With players like Ed at the table and other players, it's wow. Hoff has flopped a
He's flopped it straight. King, Jack, Queen on
with
the
a
flop.
rainbow board out there. Might you slow play this a little bit?
Well, he's in the cutoff. And Abraham has top pair, and he has checked it. And Abraham's going to bet here.
I like the bet by Abraham. He's got to figure out where he's at.
Looks like it was a bet of about 140.
Okay. He's going to find out real quick, I think.
I don't know how Sam can possibly make this call. Bottom pair.
Well, he's convincing himself to make it. Nope, he's going to throw it
Let's see
away.
how Hoff plays it. The funny thing is, if you put the guy on a huge hand, didn't you think you would have bet it? You know, because there's no guarantee that the button's going to bet. But but he's going to check raise to 500 here, Dave.
Well, I think he's kind of hoping that Abraham has two pair.
Yeah.
But King Deuce, Abraham's going to get away from this really quick.
Windows?
Yeah, Abraham's going to mod.
Jack deuce, a dime?
It wasn't a deuce, I might have played it. I was kind of drawing dead. I said I wanted to do deuce to flop. I wasn't kidding.
C1's going to be a new player. C4 missed. Take your brush. Take your attention.
And it's funny, some people watch the show and they think that we might be harsh on some of the players. And I like to think that we're just honest. We call it like we see it. If we see great poker, we say it. And if we see some bad
There you
poker,
go.
well, we say that too.
Limp and a limp. And a limp. Here we go, 5 wares, $100 pot. 898. There's a lot of raggy cards that people have in their hands.
Everybody's got like high card,
high
small
low
card.
Turns an ace.
Now Ron and Jason are in there with the small blind, the big blind.
Yep. Rivers of 5 and king high good here, Dave.
Yeah,
Hoff and C5.
actually it's a chop pot, but
yeah, Jason's got the king, and Hoff is going to lay it down. Jason bets it and he takes the chop away.
yeah.
So I want to throw this out to you, people who use 2+2 or people that want to log on to 2+2. Again, you can go to 2plus2.com, click on forums, click on Tournament Poker, World Poker Tour, and other televised tournaments. Official live at the Bike Thread. Write some questions up if you think that you want to ask Ron Rose, that you'd like me to ask Ron Rose. I have an idea of some questions in my head, but I took some of... ooh, there's another shot of Miami Vice guy. I took some of some questions for some players. Last night. We're playing a little short-handed here right now.
It looks like
Three-way action limped around. Ace-7 ace. John Huang, he's flopped trip aces.
nobody else has much of anything. Brian actually
Brian's
has two
gonna
pair,
pair.
yeah.
John's going to bet it. And John takes it down.
Brian mucks it. Yeah, you play 5-7 of diamonds not to get a flop like that. Once again, we got word that our Legends of Poker tournament today, the $1,000 buy-in limit holder event, had about 150 entries. So that's a $150,000 prize pool. First place is about 50 grand.
Somebody snuck that
Not
in
bad
there.
for a day's work.
They bet 60. It's supposed to be 50, right? They snuck it in there.
And tomorrow's event, Sunday, August 21st, will be at 4:15 p.m. also. It's a no-limit hold'em event. It's a $300 buy-in with multiple rebuys, and it's a $150,000 guarantee. Probably be closer to $250,000 at the end of it all.
And this pot is limped around once again. 300 with multi-rebuys on Dave. Wow. Deuce 8-6. Ooh, two people have flush draws here.
Yeah.
And Hoff has got an open-ended straight draw, and he's going to bet it.
And Ron also has the gut shot.
Yeah, he's got a gut shot. Let's see what Huang does here. Looks like John bet about 75, or Hoff bet 75. And John's going to check raise. Huang's going to check raise to 400. And Ron lays it down. Action's back over to Hoff with the open-ended straight draw. Or excuse me, he's got a pair there, Dave.
Just a pair, yeah.
Sorry.
It's about $400 more to him, right?
Yep.
Tough call there with second pair. Not much of a kicker and not much of a draw.
Well, it's only 200 more, it looks like. I guess I thought that John had check raised to 400, but...
I guess it was 400, so
Okay.
there we go.
And possibly Hoff put a $200 bet there on the flop. And Hoff is still thinking here.
I mean, even if you put John on diamonds, you got to put him on overcards also, you know? Like ace jack
And,
of diamonds or something. And it's just 5-6, what are you going to do? You're going to call now and then you're going to call on the turn when a card comes out?
Yeah.
It's puts you in a really tough spot.
Hoff lays it down.
You don't want to buy the plate? What? You want to buy a plate? You want to buy the plate?
What, do we not have a board for this game or what?
Double. 2 seats open.
No board here?
And this is the first and only live webcast of a cash game in the whole world. It's kind of exciting. I mean, it's amazing that we can actually see the whole cards in a cash game. Really a great learning tool.
Brian's going to race here. He's got ace-7 suited. He makes it 80 to go.
And he takes it down. I can't tell you how much I've actually learned just from watching this. That's actually Sam. He moved to seat 2.
Well, yeah, it is Sam. And it looks like there's actually... Is there a caller in there? Somebody's got cards. Yeah, there's a call, and here we go with the flop.
There we go. It's actually
Queen
John Huang.
10-10. Yeah, John Huang's got 9-5 of spades. And seat 2 is going to bet, and he takes it down. Thank you.
And our table's a little short right now. I'm sure we're going to get some new players in there right away. Obviously, when the table is short, starting hand requirements go way down. And obviously, in No Limit Hold'em, starting hands aren't nearly as important as flop play, post-flop play, turn play.
Race 70.
Look at that. Jason raises it under the gun with 5 deuce of hearts.
He made it 70 to go. C2's going to call with King 8 suited, and Hoff is in there with Jack 9 suited. But the clubs, C2's got higher clubs. King 8 of clubs and Jack 9 of clubs. $210 pot to the flop.
3 players.
King, Queen 7. Jason's going to check. Sam bets.
200.
$200 bet there, and he's probably going to take it down, dude. I'm surprised there that Jason didn't lead at the flop.
You show his hand?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I think he plays those kind of hands really to flop something big, and then nobody can put him on it.
Yeah.
But when he gets called and a king and a queen come out there, he just figures one of his opponents has got to have a king or a queen, and he figured why throw dead money after dead money, I guess is the saying.
Well, you might. He didn't do it.
We get a
last time.
familiar face. Russ is in the game now. And there he is in seat 3.
That's my guess.
Limp, limp.
Race to 150.
No, actually, I bought it at a shop.
$150 raise there. Looked like Jason with 10-8 offsuit. Seat 9. And I think he's in the small blind, Dave. He's trying to pick up the limpers.
Yeah, and I mean, you call him a king 9 offsuit, Sam is?
Well, Sam's going to call with king 9 offsuit.
Wow.
Jason's just trying to pick up the limpers. He's in the big blind.
And John throws away his ace 6 of hearts.
Yeah, and we're heads up. King 9 against 8-10.
Now, see, heads up here. I think he's going to lead out no matter what comes out.
Heads up.
Deuce 6-4. Well, you got to figure you're going to see if you can pick it up here with a rag board.
That's all you got?
It look like Sam has a lot of money behind him.
350.
And I believe it's a $350 bet there by Jason, and he's going to take it down.
And you can see the difference there. This flop comes out 6-4-2 rainbow. Figures it probably didn't hit his opponent. It's also heads up, so you can bet into it. The last flop obviously was four-handed. And with a king-queen out there, it's a lot scarier. So I know you were saying you were playing stud high low before, and you were playing it heads up. I guess hands like deuce 4-6 go way down in value, huh? Heads up in a stud high low game.
Yeah.
It's almost like you said. It just plays like a stud high, one pair.
Well, it
premium.
plays like a stud high to the point though. If you pick up a low draw on 4th Street, and by God, if you hit a low on 5th Street, it's great because you can jam it now.
Right.
That's like I guess any Stud high low game. Limp. Looks like limp here again. Queen 9-3. Ron Rose has got Queen 10, and he's going to bet.
He takes it down.
Yeah.
And like any no-limit game, it kind of, the games change as the night goes through. And obviously right now, it's kind of been a little passive pre-flop, not much raising, except when Jason seems to do it. And a lot of just betting on the flop and everybody folds. Get these guys some drinks.
Ace-king suited for John Wong. Looks like he's limping, Dave. From seat 7. He's going to limp. Wow. Here we go. King 4 of diamonds over there. We can't quite see what seat 2 has.
3 players.
King 9 deuce, all spades. Again, we can't really see what Sam has. He's going to check it. And Russ is going to bet here with the king.
60.
He bets 60. Looks like John makes a smooth call, and Sam's going to leave. He had deuce 4. And Russ is in serious trouble here. Neither player has a spade. Turns a 9. Russ is going to check.
And you always point out that sometimes a call in no limit is just as good as a raise, and that was exactly what that call was on the flop.
And Huang bets 150 here.
Wow.
And Russ calls.
Hey, Russ can't beat anything. What is he doing?
About a $450 pot. River's a 10. Russ checks.
300.
I mean, once the 9 pairs, you can't beat a flush, you can't beat a 9, you can't beat a king.
What a great value bet there by John Wong.
Yeah.
He's going to bet 300. It's an $800 pot, 300 to call. And look at this. Hollywood Russ makes the call, and John's going to take it down.
Yep. I don't really like Russ's game, but that's just a really questionable call. To me, if you think if you think he's bluffing, I guess, maybe if you put him on the ace of spades and you think maybe he's got ace, blank and 1 spade. Okay, but he honestly can't beat anything. At best maybe it's a chop if the other guy has a king and he's like, king 7 or something like that.
Small blank seat.
Pocket aces for Nick over there in seat 4.
Raise 70.
Oh, and look at this. Jason has raised with 9 deuce offsuit. He's made it 70, and Nick smooth calls here, Dave. He's going to smooth call with aces. We're heads up. About $150 pot, 5-6 king. Nick's going to check. Oh, and look at this. Jason checks right behind him. The turn's a jack.
And Jason is drawing dead.
200.
And now Nick bets 200. Jason's going to muck. Well, Jason didn't even fire. Maybe he's got the instincts there, Dave, those Mo-esque instincts.
Yeah, I told you, I really like Jason's game. The only thing with Jason is when he's playing bad,
Yep.
he really seems to play bad. But when he's on, he's really uncanny.
Yep. And Dave, again, if you go to 2+2, there's actually a little poll in there that our buddy Kev Math started regarding the Kenna James commentary poll. And I did mention that in the beginning of the show, didn't I?
I thought you did.
Yeah.
But why not mention it again?
Well, there you go. Limped around 4 ways.
Some ugly hands in there.
4, 5, 6. Rainbow flop.
Sam's got top pair here with a 10 kicker.
100.
But Hoff is going to bet with the bottom end of the open-ended straight draw. He's going to bet $100 with 3-9. And Sam mucks top pair.
That's
all right, man. You're going to take it down. Don't worry about it.
Nick's got a pair of 4s.
No. It's not bad.
He doesn't know. That's good. That's good. What are you doing?
Good for you.
Again, it kind of comes back to the point when if you're, and this is taking it to an extreme, Dave, if you're going to call, even in a short-handed game, where you're going to play something like 10-6, small, unconnecting suited cards like 8-deuce, 7-deuce suited, no matter what you hit, you have no idea where you're at.
Yeah.
You can't make a straight, or in that case you could have with 6-10, but let's say 5-10.
It's not the nuts, though.
Yeah.
You can make the straight, but 7,
Right.
8, 9, it's...
Or 4-10.
It's
for
the
that
reason
matter.
why 4 gappers aren't really...
Right. Yeah.
You know, you have 6-10, the flop comes out 7, 8, 9. You bet somebody raises you all in. It's, wow, do they have Jack 10? You don't even know. It's the reason that you don't want 6-10, you don't want Jack 7.
3 players.
Deuce 3 Jack here. Got limped around again. Nick's got top pair. Queen Jack. Gonna bet. And he's going to take it down.
And what is the name of Ron Rose's book?
Poker Aces, Stars of Tournament Poker. And again, he profiles 89 different players from 25 different countries.
Great. I'm going to come up with a quiz question relatively soon. And the winner of the quiz question will get a copy of his book. Ron's assured me that he's going to give me a few books, and we can mail it to the winner.
Pocket Aces here for Ron Rose. He's in the big blind, it looks like. He's going to raise it.
Raise 50 more.
He's only raising 50 more here.
Well, there's only 2 players in there. He doesn't mind one caller.
Okay, we talk about that hand. Nick had come in with Deuce 7 suited.
Suited, come on.
6-3-3. Oh boy, see if John's going to get tricky here again, Dave. Rainbow flop, 6-3-3.
And Ron just loves to play small pots. He doesn't really want to mix it up. I mean, he's the only big pot he played was when he had the absolute nuts.
Well, John mucks that time.
Yeah, you don't want to mix it up with Ron there. I mean,
Oh, there's the fan. Jason's fan there, back there on the team.
oh, not using it. Obviously, doesn't need it yet. Now, last night's quiz question, Russ Fox actually got the answer right, and he is enjoying his 30-minute massage here. He's in tonight. And the only catch now is I'm going to mail out the book, Ron Rose's book, Poker Aces, Stars of Tournament Poker. But the winner, the person who answers the question correctly, has to be a subscriber to our archives.
Look at this new player coming into seat 6. Well, someone's going to show him to show his cards over there. Seat 6 has made the raise. Can't quite see what he has.
C6 is a big-time tournament player also. I recognize him.
Tran is his last name. We'll get his first name. Jimmy Tran.
Jimmy Tran, he's a big-time poker player.
Yeah.
I mean, tournament poker player, that is.
He's got ace-5 of diamonds. And Nick is going to call with Jack 10, and Hoff is in there with King 6. So Jimmy Tran, another one of those tournament players coming in. Ace 6-8. Jimmy's got top pair here.
I played a few satellites, actually, at the World Series with Jimmy. He's a real aggressive player.
Hoff is going to lead in here with bottom pair. He's bet $200. And Jimmy's going to raise. He's going to make it 450 straight.
The way Jimmy's playing, I'm just going to bet that he just got knocked out of the tournament. He's kind of like here. He's like, I'm ready to gamble. He takes it down.
Yeah.
Only it's good for the game.
Yes? No. Yes.
Anyways, once again, I'm going to ask a quiz question. But the only way you're eligible for the prize is if you are a subscriber to the archives. And once again, why don't you tell us about the archives?
Well, the archives, of course, you can watch this show and every show that we've ever done over the last 7 months. Over 1,000 hours of live action. It's $14.95 a month. Gets you all that access to all those past programs, plus an instructional DVD from Howard Lederer.
Plus, you're eligible for these prizes.
That's right. This will get a new player there. Seat 1, Rod buying in for 1,000, and Jimmy Tran there came in for 1,000 as well.
There you go.
In seat 6.
Well, he's quickly up about 300 now.
Nothing like having these tournament guys in a cash game, Dave.
Especially, you can always, if a tournament player just gets knocked out of the tournament, usually in a tournament people are playing a little tight or a little more focused, and they're almost ready to, like, blow off some steam. So they come into a cash game and they think, okay, I'm just going to gamble up a little bit, blow off some steam. And
Rod's going to come in racing. He had posted behind, and he's raced with King Jack suited.
Yes. 100 even.
He raced to 100, gets a call to his left by Jack 10. Russ is in there with Ace Queen. Nick comes in with 7-3 offsuit, and Hoff is in there with 9-6 suited.
7-3 offsuit. I guess it worked for Joseph Hatcham. Why not can't work for him?
5 players.
$500 pot here. 4-10-4. Sam's got top pair here.
I got to tell you, if I'm Rod here, after I get 4 callers,
Yeah, you're going to just shut down.
I just got to think, I might not be able to win this one.
He bets 100
Okay.
into a $500 pot, and he just gets a smooth call there by Jack 10.
Well, he got the information he wanted. Let's see what happens now.
$600 pot now. Turns at 5.
Well, he's picked up a spade draw now.
He's going to check.
I would have loved to stop that.
Yeah, this is perfect time for a stop bet.
And now he's got to call 400.
Yep,
now, if he
he's
put in
gonna
like a
check
nice,
call 400.
if he had put in like a $200 bet there,
Yep.
he probably would have just got called.
$1,000 pot. Rivers a 6. And Sam's going to take it down there.
And when I say stop bet, I mean basically he puts in a bet there that he fully expects to get called, but basically he's paying he's basically naming his price for the call. And once in a while, you'll get somebody who kind of smells the stop bet and raises you anyway. But oftentimes, if you throw a $150 bet in there or a $200 bet in there, you can you can basically name your price in that sense. Once again, we are live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. The blinds are $10 and $20. And we have quite a celebrity crew here. We've got John Huang and Ron Rose and Jimmy Tran. With the Legends of Poker going on at the Bicycle Casino,
70.
the tournament pros are everywhere to be seen. Jimmy Tran raises it up with King 8 offsuit. And he gets called by Nick with 4-7 offsuit. Nick just loves to play.
3 players. $150.
And Jimmy actually has the best hand still. He's got King high. Wow. And Nick's going to call. Pot's about $600 right now.
Heads up.
And there's the ace. It's got to be a scare card for both players. Let's see if Nick uses it and bets into the pot.
320.
Wow. Nice bet there by Nick. He's picked up a double gut shot there. A deuce would give him a straight, and a 6 would give him a straight. And he bets it, and he takes it down. Nice bet there by Nick. Jimmy kind of played the hand. Jimmy Tran in seat 6 there kind of played the hand like he had pocket jacks or pocket queens. And Nick correctly thought that maybe the ace would be a scare card, and it was. And the rabbit cam actually showed a 4, which would have given Nick the best hand of the pair of 4s.
Service on you.
80 to go.
And Hoff is going to raise it in seat 5 there with ace-10. Jimmy's got ace-jack right next to him. Ace-jack can be an easily dominated hand, and Jimmy throws it away.
So I can lay it down.
But John likes his pocket sevens. I think he's going to call.
I agree.
And Sam's going to call with ace-9 here. And why not? Nick's going to throw the money in there with king-6. Nick's gotten to the point where any 2 cards.
4 players.
And Nick flops top pair here.
That good.
But it's tough to play when you have king-6. You don't know where you're at. Well, with king-6, I think you know where you're at now. He's got top pair, and he's got 2 pair here, kings and 6s. But Nick checks it, and Hoff is going to take a shot at it with king-6. Looks like John might get a little tricky here. I think he correctly puts Hoff on a bluff, but he's worried about the players behind him. And he throws it away.
No, I'm all right. 200 more.
And Hoff's got ace high. He's going to throw it away. And Nick takes it down. He raised it $200 more, and he takes it down. Nice play there by Nick. And wow, the rabbit was another 6. The rabbit cam, the river would have been another 6. Filling up Nick there.
Hey, you want to borrow this? You want to borrow this?
110.
Wow, here it is. Hoff has picked up pocket aces here. And Ron's going to call with king, queen of hearts. $110 raise here. And we're going to see it heads up. About a $240 pot. And the flop.
Heads up.
Not a very good flop for king, queen of hearts. Hoff's going to check it, though. Oh. And Ron's picked up a heart draw here.
200. Raised. Raised to 6.
Oh, wow. Hoff bets $200, and Ron thinks he's weak, and with his heart draw, he raises it $400 more to $600.
I'm all in.
And Hoff has trapped him here.
Raised all in.
I like the move by Hoff there. Got to move all in there. That board is far too coordinated not to. And Ron's trying to figure out if he's got the odds to call here. And the pot is about $1,500. Trying to get word of how much more it is to call. And it looks like about $1,300 more. And it's just about $1,300 more to win a $1,500 pot. So Ron's got to put $1,300 in to win $2,800. So he's not quite getting. He's getting not quite getting the odds here. If he thinks only his heart draws are good. Now if he thinks his king is good, his queen is good, or his heart's good, well then he might be enticed to call.
You got 9, you got 14, 65, 75, 85.
It's tough here though. Ron put him on a bluff. Ron put him on maybe ace king or ace queen. But unfortunately, Ron can't beat ace king or ace queen right now.
15.
Now, about how much is in the pot now, Dave?
It's about a $2,800 pot, and Ron's got to call about $1,350.
Well, it's tough, overcards and a flush draw.
Right. You just got to think is my king and my queen good also?
Of course, we know that they're not.
Right. Exactly. And the way the hand played out, actually, it was check on the flop, and then on the turn, Hoff threw in a little $200 bet, and Ron semi-bluffed him and raised it to $600, thinking maybe that Hoff had ace king or ace queen, I think. But now it's one of those times where Ron's kind of he raised on the come and he's kind of stepped in it here. I don't think he can call this though. Not with only one card to come. And he doesn't. He lays it down here.
Yep, he's going to make the laydown.
With one card to cut, you just got to make that laydown.
We haven't necessarily seen Hoff really act super, super crafty, and we can actually see that the rabbit cam shows a king on the river. So if you made the call,
No, I had a hand. I had a very
his hand obviously still wouldn't have been
Right.
good.
Well, and the problem is, if you let's say you put Hoff on a pure bluff. Let's say you put Hoff on ace king or something like that, which at that point you really can't. But if you put him on ace king, even your king's not good.
Right.
Thank you for that. Very good.
In the end, Ron's only got king high. Tough to call anything with king high.
So we're on to the next hand.
Raise.
80.
Raise to 80.
$80 raise there by Hoff. It's got
My same $80 hand.
got ace jack off suit there.
I'll show it.
Cards exposed. Queen of spades and 6 of diamonds.
Nick is called here with 8-10 off suit. Jimmy is called with king 10. And here we go. To the flop.
3 players.
6-3-3, a couple of clubs.
80.
Hoff still has the best hand here. He bets 80. And look at this. Jimmy Tran is going to check raise here, perhaps sensing some weakness. Pulling one out of the John Huang move there from up front.
135 more.
He's actually only check raised to 135 more here, Dave.
800? 800.
850.
So 135 more.
I call.
Oh, he's going to call.
One what?
Wow.
35.
So it's about a $600 pot now. Hoff makes the call, and again, we talk about being in position. Sometimes a call is almost as good as a raise, and let's see what Jimmy Tran does here on the turn.
135.
Wow. You almost got to put Hoff on either ace king or just an overpair, like pocket nines or something, right? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh, the turn's a 10, and Jimmy Tran's picked up top pair.
Well, now Jimmy doesn't need to bet it. But he's going to anyway, it looks like.
Well, if you put Hoff on a flush draw, you don't want a free card to come
Right,
there.
of course.
250.
It's going to bet 250. Pot's now about 850, 250 for Hoff. The call off only has ace high. His overcards are good though. If they pair there on the river.
And he's down to 6 outs. Right now, it's he's got about a 12% chance of hitting his hand. Right now, I'd say Jimmy's about 88% and Hoff's at 12%.
850, 250 to call. Hear those new clay chips rattling around there.
I love the sound of chips like that. Wow, he's calling.
Oh, he's going to call again. $1,100 pot now to
Now,
the
if a
river.
club comes out, can Hoff take it away from him?
Well, the river's a 9, Dave.
600 all in.
And Jimmy's going to bet all in here for 600, and you wonder if Hoff called the turn and thought that Jimmy was bluffing, is he going to call again here with ace high?
He calls.
And he
ace
makes
high.
the call. He makes the call for 600 more, and Jimmy Tran takes it down there with king 10.
I mean, I want to give Hoff a little credit on this. On the flop, he correctly thought Jimmy Tran was bluffing.
Yeah.
And then it just happened to be that Jimmy got lucky. Hit his card. Wow. And we're talking about a $2,200 pot. You know, one guy had a pair of 10s with a king kicker, and the other guy's got ace high.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, one shot.
Wow. Just like that, dude.
What's the matter with you?
Good hand, though. You got that?
And here's my question for you, my quiz question for the night. The winner of this will get a copy of Ron Rose's Stars of Tournament Poker, Poker Aces, Stars of Tournament Poker. Once again, you have to be a Archives subscriber to be eligible for it. But feel free to email us at liveatthebike.com or go to 2+2, and the first person will win it. And the question is, what is the highest set you can have that cannot be the nuts? Basically, after the river card is dealt, if you have this set, the highest one it is possible, and it cannot be the nuts, no matter what. After the river, and that's in Hold'em, obviously.
I know that one, actually, off the top of my head.
Do you? Wow.
Time to steal.
It's not a tournament, man.
Today, I can't steal in.
Take his card.
I get lucky to play.
You don't want to get in trouble, right? You want to eat?
That's relaxing.
He smells a bad beat. I don't blame him.
6 players.
Here we go. It's limped around. Queen, Jack, 10.
Jack 10, Jack Queen.
5.
A couple of hearts on the flop.
Who's going back?
Nick has got a pair there and an open-ended straight draw on seat 4.
Probably.
He's got top pair, and he's going to bet it.
120.
It's like a 120.
Well, if you're going to play Queen 9 offsuit, I mean, that's not a bad flop, Queen 9, right? And Jimmy just hits and runs. He wins and leaves.
What do you do, a hit and run?
Yeah, they don't.
Hit and run, classic. Well, he just won tomorrow's tournament entry, right?
Yeah, exactly. So goes the life of a tournament player, right?
Absolutely had it read perfect
Did
on
we
the
get
flop.
his name?
You had ace king, right?
Did you get the license plate?
No, I don't
Did we
care.
get
Dave, I don't want to ruin that question for you, but I kind of want to give a little bit of a hint out there.
No hints yet. Please. No hints.
He's going to ask the question in a different manner.
Oh, okay, go ahead and ask the question. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, it's kind of like the question, what is the lowest nut hand in Hold'em with all 5 cards up? Now, the answer is not the same, but it's a little bit of a hint.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And this
Not
is
that much
obviously
of a hint.
what is the highest.
Right.
The highest set you can have
My 80's not,
that cannot
my
be
80's
the
not
nuts.
working out.
Right.
Okay, it's nice.
And then I said, think of the lowest nut hand in Hold'em that you can have.
I mean, I'm not trying to tell you I got great hands. Yeah.
Pot builder.
Hoff raised there to 60 with King Queen offsuit, and everyone called.
Oh, look at that flop for Sam.
Wow, Ace Deuce 3. Sam's flopped a wheel there in seat 2.
Oh, let's see if Nick can get away from this. Nick's got top pair. Not much of a kicker, though.
And Sam's bet right into it. He's bet 200 right in there. And Nick is sitting over there with Ace 8 offsuit.
Sam doesn't have much money.
No, Nick's going to lay it down there. Hoff is going to muck.
Wow, rainbow board there.
Yeah, he's going to take it down there.
Oh. That's one of those golden opportunities just kind of went by.
I wouldn't do that. I had an ace. No good? We got ace no good? Honestly, no. I had an ace.
Well, again, you wonder if Sam, if he didn't have much money, could he get crafty and check raise all in there? If Nick had bet there with the ace, or maybe if Hoff had, threw a bet in there.
I mean, Sam only had 800, and
Oh, you
before
know
that, he
what?
probably had like
Oh, no, I had a
650 or
monster.
so.
I thought you meant the.
So here we
I
go with
thought
the
you
new
meant
chip
the hand.
You know,
I thought you
Jason's
meant the
up
hand
flop
that
the
just
nuts.
happened. You're going
Jason's
out.
up over $3,000 there. He's got
No, your
5,700.
hand
Put
was.
that up at 6 o'clock.
John's
Your
got
hand
about
was a
3,000.
no.
Ron lost a little bit. That hand with the king queen.
Put
Right.
that up there at 6 o'clock.
Still up for the night. Still up about 700 for the night.
Russ has got about
You didn't have
26.
eights, you had
Nick
nines.
with 23.
Your hand
Hoff
had a
with
straight.
12. Rod with 1,000. And Sam now pays him.
Hoff's actually down about 3,000 for the night.
I had
He
to
bought him for
say-
4,000.
No, it was. I thought it was to the 5, wasn't it? Oh, 6? Okay. Yeah, 6. I'm sorry. It was to the 6. I bet before the flop was his hand. I had pocket 3s and the flop came out with.
Pot is limped around here again. Here we go to the flop.
Check, check.
Ace, queen, 5.
No, I don't think so. I had a straight. You had the flush draw? No. Yeah.
Nick is betting here. It looks like $80 there with bottom pair. He's got deuce 5.
This guy.
Sam
I
has
had
a flush draw. He's gonna make
nailed
the check
it.
call.
I just exactly the hand I put him on, except for he catches the
Turn is a 3. It gives Sam a pair now as well.
120.
Now Nick bets 120. Sam's going to check call here again. The river's a king. And I think Nick thinks he needs to bet this to win it, Dave.
I would imagine so.
He's going to bet
275.
$275.
And it's the old, well, don't check and call.
Yep.
Because if he had raised on any of those, on the flop, if he'd raised on the turn, he would have taken the pot away.
Yep. And Sam there mucks and Nick takes the
I mean, it's like
hand.
one of the most basic rules of no limit hold'em, or hold'em generally. And obviously, it's not this simple. But one of the first things you like to say to a new player is, raise or fold. If your hand's good enough to play, don't call, raise it. If it's not good enough to raise with, then throw it away.
Sounds like there's some sort of cell phone going dead around there, Dave. Someone's got a cell phone in their pocket that's dying.
Dying.
I keep hearing that. Little warning.
Well, do me a favor, and when Ron does come in here and ask him all the questions and interview him, make sure he leaves a book or two.
Oh, that's great, yeah.
And we've got new benefits for all our archive subscribers.
Pot is limped around again. 6-way action. Queen 4-10, rainbow. It's like Hoff has the best hand there with ace 10. C5. It gets checked around. I believe Hoff was in position there too. Queen on the turn. Actually, Jason was in position.
Jason hasn't really gotten out of line. He went on that little rush, but 10-hand rush.
Bet 80.
And now Russ is going to bet 80 with the flush draw. And now that the queen paired, Hoff might think that ace 10 is good and he's going to make the call. And we're heads up. Russ is going to need to catch a king or a heart here on the river. And the river is a king.
That works. I like the bet.
Bet 100.
And he bets 100 because you got to put the guy maybe on a 10, right? At that point.
Without a doubt.
And he's going to get paid off. King
Without a
deuce is
doubt.
good.
Nice value bet there. Some people shut down there and they go, oh, well, maybe he has a queen. I got there. I don't need to bet it. Hey, the guy's probably not calling you a queen. He's probably got 10. The only other scary thing is if he had, say, Jack 9, the king would have got him there.
Right. Got a new player coming into the game. Oh, Paul Darden's going to come in the game, Dave.
Oh, that's great.
There you go. PD right there.
And good for us that Paul Darden's coming in the
Coming
game.
into seat 6.
Unfortunately for him, obviously, that means he has been knocked out of today's tournament.
Pocket queens over there for Hoff in seat 5.
Sits down here.
I believe that he has raised to 120. And
You know what?
small blind has ace 10 and it's made the call.
Oh, you want
Jack 10-3 here.
Yeah.
Sam's going to check the ace 10. Hoff's going to bet the over
I've
pair.
seen him play like 4 times. I've seen him.
You don't want to give him out a board like that. You don't really want to get free cards.
$200 bet here.
He smokes. So he's.
Sam makes the call. The turn's a club, 2's a clubs.
So you gotta
Yeah, but you could come back, right?
And now what do you think, Sam has probably a jack or a 10, right?
Yeah, he could have king queen also.
Yeah. And Hoff bets 500 and Sam quickly calls, Dave.
Wow.
Pot's about 1,700 now.
This is
And the
why-
river is a king.
What you have?
And it's going to get checked down here.
Show first, right?
And pocket queens is good. Hoff's
And
gonna
I
take
don't
it
mind
down.
the check there. If you put the guy on king queen,
Oh, yeah.
then he got there,
Yeah.
obviously. Not the way he would have wanted to, but. And once again, it shows, that check calling, just not winning poker.
No.
Yeah, I know. You know what I mean?
So I hear Jason in seat 9, his favorite poker player is himself.
Ah, interesting. I wonder if Paul Darden's favorite poker player is himself. Probably not.
I heard it's you.
Oh.
Could be. Or somebody else. Who knows? Oh, exposed card. The deuce. Black deuce is exposed there.
Ace king offsuit over there for the big blind.
Be careful. He thinks me.
Sam limps in with a suited connect, 4-6 of diamonds. Oh, and actually, Russ has the ace king, and he does not raise out of the small blind. 8-9-7. Nick's got top pair.
Yeah, Sam's open-ended.
110.
Nick has bet 110 with a pair of nines.
Why don't we make it a 10 hand? Or
Now let's see if Sam goes for this. He's got the ass end of the straight draw here.
It's all in.
Wow, he's going to move all in here. He's moving all in
Well,
here.
hey,
110 first.
10 jack no good.
certainly better than calling.
10 jack no good.
Maybe that 10 jack is good.
And Nick looks like he's going to lay down 9-3.
And there's a perfect example. The last 3 hands,
9 jack.
well, actually 2 of the last 3 hands that Sam was involved in, he had draws.
Yep.
But he decided to check and call his draw, and he lost those because draw never got there. This time he decided, let me just raise it, and he took it down before he didn't need to.
He's still steaming over that.
He's all steaming from the last hand, huh?
You get 50?
Well, that's worse than 80. You guys gave me a bunch of crap about the 80, man.
I'm in the best position with my favorite hand.
And it gets limped around here. Got a $80 pot, 4-handed. Blinds are 10-20 in this game.
Jack, 8. Couple of clubs. Turns a 3 of diamonds.
Say 120?
And Nick is going to bet 120 with absolutely nothing. He's going to make a bluff.
Make it 3.
Look at this. Jason's going to raise with a gut shot straight draw.
He's reading a player. He knows the guy's got nothing.
Well, there's no way Nick can call here, right? Dave, he's either going to re-raise, he's going to muck.
Right. And last time he re-raised on a bluff, it didn't work, so I don't think he's going to do it again, and he doesn't. And I was just saying, we hadn't heard from Jason in a while, and there you go. Haven't gotten an answer yet to the question there. Once again, the question is, what is the highest set you can have that cannot be the nuts? And the winner of this, the first person to answer it right, will get Ron Rose's Poker Aces Stars of Tournament Poker book.
That's good. I hope nobody gets a pair.
Maybe he'll even autograph it if he has a copy here.
Yeah.
I don't want to see no pairs.
just like the spot bet ticket.
150.
Wow, we got some big hands here.
Oh, pocket kings there for seat 1.
And
The
Ron
action's on
Rose has
him.
got ace queen.
Yeah, Ron Rose brought in for 50. And
You're a good reader.
Rod is not messing around. He's going to push all in here with his kings.
Doesn't have much.
And you play too.
80. 110.
Looks like Rod's got maybe like what?
260.
260.
260. Now, again, Ron brought it in for 50, got a smooth caller by Jason. So the pot already had 100 in there. And now it's a $360 pot, 260 to call. So maybe if Ron thinks he's got overcards, he's going to make the call. But once again, if the guy has ace-king, he's dominated. If he's got queens, kings, or aces, he's in real bad shape. But Ron is going to make the call.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to slap a small piece of that.
And I can see that one of the aces is already dead. So there's 2 aces left here. Here we go to the flop.
Okay.
Wow. Who needs an ace
Queen
when you've got
jack.
queen
Wow,
king?
running jacks. Look at this open-ended straight draw, and an 8 comes on the river. And ace queen's going to take it down. Rod picked up some outs there on the turn.
Yeah. Well, that's one way to outflop kings.
Yeah. And Ron takes it down.
I think Ron had to know he was behind, but then again, some guys with a short stack like that, they just get frustrated and they just want to like throw it in there.
Can I come in the middle?
Yes. Need a big blind. He just calls me.
And we're going to see Darden come into the game now.
And there he is, Paul Darden. Looks like he bought in for about 2,000,
Give
say.
100.
Oh, Jason's picked up ace king here. Seat 9. He's going to take it down. Now, Paul Darden had 10-8 of clubs there, and it's a hand that he might normally mix it up with. But he's new to the game, and I think he'd like to get a feel for it before he starts mixing it up with questionable hands like 10-8 clubs.
It's funny, we're in the world of internet where we have instant information, Dave, and CW Siggy posted up a little information about Hoff's shirt there in seat 5. It's a dove hunting event, Big Breast 15, the 5th annual contest to see which hunter weighs in the heaviest dove breast. The event is held on September 1 and September 2nd each year, and it's grown to the point where they're getting major sponsors like Coors Light,
Get 80.
Beretta Shotgun Company.
Wow.
Interesting.
Well, that means it's coming up pretty soon. Maybe I can get myself the next year's shirt or something, or a hat.
Now look at that. Nick raised there with 6-7 of diamonds, and Jason was with King Queen in the big blind and mucked. King Queen offsuit.
Show one time, huh?
Give me 50 cents.
Okay, Jason's impressing you, isn't he? You kind of like his game.
I figured all of it.
I don't want to do that.
I have to draw.
Jason hasn't gotten out of line at all today. Really playing a strong game today.
Seat 1.
Big blind.
Is that Mike?
We got a player.
Is that Mike? Is that my move? Is that Mike?
Just take a blind.
o'clock
Big
again?
blind.
I know we got a player.
You want me to move, Mike? You want that seat?
Oh, no.
I was going to move, but I'll let you go there.
That's good, man.
Ooh, Corporation Mike's coming into the game in seat 1, Dave.
Well, I want to say congratulations to Dopey on 2+2. He is a subscriber to the archives, and he answered the question correctly. Pocket Jacks is actually the highest set you can have. That cannot be the nuts. So remember that. If you have Pocket Jacks, you flop a Jack, and all five cards come out after the river's dealt, you cannot have the absolute nuts.
Ron Rose raised this hand with pocket nines. He's going to take it down on the button.
Congratulations to Dopey.
And I can't wait to see. Now, Corporation Mike's in the game with Ron Rose and Paul Darden there.
Oh, this game is just getting better by the second.
Yep.
Wow, that's what it is?
And just letting Dopey know, please
I'll put you up on that.
You buy the bike.
Email us at liveatthebike.com with your contact information.
exactly, and we will get you that book in the mail right away. Congratulations. And look at that, for $14.95 a month, not only do you get access to all of this, the poker show, plus access to the Howard Letter video, but now you're getting prizes.
We actually kind of went away from reading some emails off because the 2+2 forum was kind of got what we needed here, Dave, or it was more convenient. But there was another question there on 2+2 by a couple other people regarding technical issues. If you have subscriber issues, technical problems, you can email that stuff to liveatthebike.com.
Right,
as well.
exactly.
Pot is limped around. King 7-6, couple of diamonds. Look at the flop for Hollywood Russ.
Wow.
Open-ended straight draw, flush draw.
Wow, what a flop for Russ.
And Ron Russ is bet on a gut shot. Let's see if Russ check raises here.
That's how much I have.
Mike has got the bottom end of an open-ended straight draw as well.
Call.
And Mike's going to call.
30.
Let's see what Russ does.
Take it easy on me, Ron. I just got
He's just going to call, Dave.
Wow. That hand's big enough to really raise with, unless he's trying to trap somebody, but you still got to hit it.
Well, Nick's out of there. And Ron has the best hand right now with 10 high.
Bam.
Wow, the turn's the deuce of diamonds. There's the flush for Russ. And it gets checked around. Dangerous free card by Russ
yeah.
given. And the river is a jack. We've seen Russ do that time and time again.
Yeah.
And he's going to bet the river, but if a diamond peeled off on the river, Dave,
Now he's not going to get paid anything
Ron
anyway,
would have
though.
backed into a higher flush.
Nobody's got anything now. And Ron's got 10 high. And Mike's got 5 high.
You can't always depend on the fact that someone's going to bet again in a limped pot on the turn, you know?
What'd you saw him?
And he makes no money off of the hand.
Yeah.
Wow.
I flop king and sixes. No loss. You have a straight flush.
Very, very dangerous free card there given by Russ.
How about this thing? Oh, you go and call for sure.
You're playing tight tonight, huh? What happened? What's going on? When your girlfriend's not here, you
One time
guy
I
like...
can't win. If I lose, somebody lose cost.
And I want to congratulate Corporation Mike in seat 1 there. He's actually been playing great. Every Wednesday we've been having a kind of a little freeze-out tournament that Mo has been hosting. And Mike has been on, I mean, he hasn't won first place, but I think 3 weeks in a row he's come in second place.
Wow.
You know, never a bride, always a bridesmaid, but hey, second place pays.
Now the game's on. It's about time.
John Wong raised there to 40.
We haven't heard from him in a while, have we? He's having a pretty quiet night.
Paul Darden's eating a steak over there, Dave. That's the second steak he's had here today. Because when I came into the casino around 2:30, he was sitting at a high-low stud table eating a steak. Looks like he has some spinach or greens over there on the side and some corn on the cob.
He's kind of the all-protein diet, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it's actually Chinese broccoli we're getting word.
Chinese broccoli.
We got to have your protein if you're a poker player, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
Ron Rose has got ace-queen offsuit here.
Get 90.
He raises. He makes it 90 to go.
And Corporation Mike's going to call with ace deuce of spades here.
Yeah.
You got a pair yet, Ron?
Hollywood Russ has got 7-8 suited. Nick's going to come in with pocket fives, and we got a little pot brewing.
And now if you're off, why not call with 8-9 of spades?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's dominated because Mike's got the spades also, but if you're
$450 pot to the flop.
If you're Ron, you got to hate your hand right now.
King 4-10. Well, when you've got ace-queen, you hate when a king flops.
When all those players call, I hate my hand.
And it looks like that Nick has the best hand here with pocket fives.
I like that bet.
And, wow,
Raise me bet.
you know, Ron is going to bet 75 into a $450 pot. And Nick calls. And we're heads up here. Pocket fives against ace queen. The turn's a jack.
Wow.
Turns a jack, gives Ron the nut straight.
Oh, wow. Ron just... Well, I mean, it should be a pretty easy hand for Nick to get away from.
Oh, mistake.
I mean, Ron's got to hope that, maybe that gave Nick 2 pair or something, but...
He's bet 325 here. What can you beat if you've got pocket fives? I mean, you have to really think about that one, Dave.
Yeah, you can't be...
Ace 9?
Yeah, pretty much. That's about it, ace 9. You can't really beat any pocket pair. You can't even beat... You figure, okay, well, maybe the guy had pocket fours. No, there's a set of fours out there.
Yeah.
You can beat pocket deuces and pocket threes. Hey.
Yeah. An ace rack, pretty
Right.
much.
I had the 8, 9 of spades, I swear to you.
Did you really?
I swear to God.
Oh, get 2 spades on the
Yeah.
flop, man. We can dance.
Go back.
No, but I'm thinking if that queen comes out there,
Oh, that would have been rough.
there's some action happening. Never happens like that for my favorite.
Once again, we are live at the bike.
Never at the
I'm
good
David
end.
Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're watching No Limit Hold'em action here.
Lines for this game are 10 and 20. The brown chips are $10 chips. The yellows are 5. Purples are 25. Whites are 100, and the greens are
Hey,
1,000.
did you act yet?
The action is fast and furious. Money is flying around this table. And here's an update. Corporation Mike is still bald.
I'm upset.
Pot was limped around here. 10-4 jack.
Oh, you do.
Change that to same flop, right?
Same flop, man. We have some good action.
Got checked around, turns an 8. Nick picks up a pair now.
Straight draw and a flush.
And he's going to bet it.
80.
Ooh.
2 hearts.
Actually, Whalecock on 2+2 brings up a good point. He says, where's Paul Darden's bling? Was he robbed? He hasn't got anything there.
No straddle, Jack?
I did mine for the ninth.
I raised with 7-8. 600.
Here's a look at, I believe that's Jason's chip stack. Dave, he's got to have about, somewhere around, you'd think 5,000 to 6,000. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's played some really good poker,
Yeah.
Picked off some nice bluffs. Won a couple of big pots.
Flop is pre-flop limped around here again. Queen 5 deuce rainbow. Russell's got top pair. He's going to bet it.
60.
Seat 3. He's going to bet 60. And he takes it down.
A lot of respect. There's a lot of respect from this bunch.
Thank you.
Alright, gonna fade out here.
I'm gonna start raising in a sec.
You are on that side.
As soon as this glass thing gets level.
Look at this one.
Straddle. See? Yeah, yours is worse. Man.
You big.
Oh.
Livened her up a little bit.
Again, if you want to follow a live thread here, go to 2plus2.com. Get to the official Live at the Bike
I told you.
thread for 820. Click on forums, click on televised tournaments, or tournament poker, World Poker Tour and other televised tournaments, and
Don't
you're
want to
right
sit around all
there.
night and wait for a hand.
Pot was raised here to 60, 2 callers, about a $180 pot. Deuce 4-5. Looks like Ron has the best hand here with king high. Gonna check. Mike bets here. He's got nothing.
120.
$120 bet there.
How you doing, sir?
And he's going to take it down. the Corporation Mike with a very, very loose, aggressive style. He's been doing well in the shootouts that we've been having lately. Seem to be coming every Wednesday during Legends. It's a $5,000 shootout that our No Limit host, Mo, puts together. Pocket jacks for seat 3. Russ in the big blind. And John Wong is going to raise here out of seat 7 from the cutoff with King Queen offsuit.
I don't know. I don't know.
See what Hollywood Russ does here with pocket jacks. He's going to make a smooth call. And Nick is in there with a little suited connector, 7-8 of clubs. $350 pot to the flop. King 7 deuce. John's got top pair. He's flopped it. Out-flopped Russ. He bets $150 into a $350 pot. Pot is now $500. 150 to call. Russ is going to have to evaluate here. Nick has bottom pair here as well. Russ has second pair to the board. Kind of a weak bet there by John Wong. And Russ is going to get away from it.
I don't know. I gotta see.
And action's over to Nick now. He's got second pair, and he makes the call. Pot is now 650. The turn is a 5. Nick checks. John's going to bet 300, so the pot's now 950. 300 for Nick to call. He'd have to spike a 7 or an 8 here on the river to win. He doesn't believe John. He's going to make the call. Wow. $950 pot. Here we go to the river. The river's a 10. No help. And if you're John Wong, maybe you think the guy's got a weak king. He puts a value bet here. He's going to bet 400. And he gets a quick call there by Nick. And John Wong just squeezed the money and the life right out of Nick, getting him to call there with second pair all the way. And he takes down a pretty big pot there. About an $1,800 pot. Nice value bet there by John Wong in the end.
This is like a 16 nut.
Small blind, big blind.
John Wong extracting the most out of that hand.
One more.
John the Boa Constrictor Wong. Squeezing it out.
You on break? Break time?
Keep getting his hand. We got a lot of 4 hands. I've seen that.
Looks like John Wong's going to raise here again. He's got King Jack offsuit. Got a couple limpers in front of him. And he's going to raise it to 170.
Hey, show one time.
And he's going to take it down.
Queens, right?
Queen?
Pocket queens for sure.
And there's the big smile from John Wong's wife.
I know. Guarantee queens. I can smell queens.
I'll give 50 cents off.
Huh?
Again, we really haven't seen Paul Darden play. He's playing super, super tight. And he's eating right now. And maybe the reason why we haven't seen him play in a while is because he has an out button in front of him. Chomp on that corn in the cob, leaving that for last. That's the first thing I dig into.
$80.
With 80.
Absolutely. Seat 9 is raised here to 80. He's got 6-8 offsuit.
It's a 10 or no?
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Nick is going to make the call here with ace-10 of diamonds.
Tip? I know, you said increments, you threw me off.
And we're heads up. Oh, pretty good flop there for Nick. Gut shot, straight draw, diamond draw, queen, jack, deuce, 2 diamonds on board. And Jason bets. Let's see if Nick throws a check raise in here. Wow, it's a check call. Pot's now about $650. The turn is a 10. Nick's going to check again. He's picked up the best hand now. And Jason looks like he's going to keep firing.
Flush draw?
And he's going to bet. Looks like he's going to bet big.
900.
900 into a $650 pot.
Alright, I'm all in.
And look at this. Nick's going to check raise all in, and Jason's done with the hand. And Nick takes it down. Thought Nick was going to make that move there on the flop.
He doesn't have a nut and ball.
I got three jacks. What are you going to do? You never play a hand. How can I give it to you? You never play one hand. How am I going to give it to you? You got to come in first.
So we got a poster there on 2+2. Just Scott. He wants us to explain the trivia question
King,
for him.
Ace, king, and pocket queens.
Pocket jacks is the highest set that is not the nut hand, because after all 5 cards, if you have 3 jacks, there's going to be a straight possibility out there. 3 queens is the lowest possible nut hand in Hold'em, because you can have the absolute nuts with 3 queens on the right board. But if you have 3 jacks, there's always going to be a straight out there that can beat you. And I hope that simplifies things here. The pot is limped around.
An 80.
10-7-6. Pop has got jack 10. He's going to bet top pair. $80 bet there out of seat 5.
9-5 space, and he had kings. That was a pretty big pot. And then
And Russ is going to make the call there with a gut shot.
He lost 6,000 last
And
night.
Nick's in there too with the same gut shot. Wow. The turn's at 3. Now let's see if these players, you know, if Russ had called there with the gut shot, let's see if he can represent the flush there in position.
Say he lost 10 before he changed seats.
C5's going to bet 100. I don't mind the call with the gut shot if you raise here when the 3rd club comes. But he's just going to smooth call again.
Raise 300 more.
And now Nick uses the club on the turn, and he's going to check raise. He check raises to 400. And that's what we're talking about. Chase the gut shot, but use the club as a bluff card. And that's exactly what Nick has done there. Well played there by Nick. And he's going to take down the pot.
no pot.
We saw Kathy Liebert make that move here a couple of weeks ago. Pretty advanced play there. I mean, if you chase for 4 outs, there are other cards that you can steal the pot away from the player from. Russ has got ace-10 suited over there in the cutoff. He's going to raise it up out of seat 3. He's going to make it 80 to go. Paul Darden taking his blind. He's not going to play.
Nobody's calling him.
Corporation Mike is out.
I need one color. And I'm in.
And Russ takes it down. Some people might wonder why we call him Corporation Mike. Well, in LA area casinos, in terms of California games like blackjack, get a good look at his Mr. Clean, shiny bald head there. In California casinos that are non-Indian in the LA area, you can play games like blackjack, pai gow, pan 9, but you're not playing against the house. You're playing against another player, and the house has only an interest in the fact that they take an ante on each hand. So when you play against when you play against other players, someone has to pretty much cover your bet. It used to be in the old days, if the other player didn't cover the bet, well, you'd only be able to bet as much as the next player is going to cover. And I'll continue this in a second after the hand. Seat 1 raised here with ace, king of diamonds.
Make it bigger so I can do the same.
Come on in, man.
Come on in.
Build a pot. Let's go.
Jason's got, seat 1 raised with ace, 10 of clubs. Jason limped in there with ace, king of diamonds. And let's see if Jason pulls the limp re-raise here. There's a lot of callers in between.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was waiting for you to do it. That's what I was sitting here thinking.
All right, here you go.
And here we go. He is going to pull the limp re-raise here.
Sick puppy, man.
What did I make it last night? I forgot. 600 more?
620.
620? There you go.
And there you go, 620 more. Jason's going to pull the limp re-raise with ace, king of diamonds. Mike made it, I believe, 80 to go with ace, 10 of clubs, and you know probably his hand is really not that good now.
Different scenario.
It's true.
And I can't imagine the corporation Mike can make this call with ace, 10. About 570 more. Look at this. He makes the call with ace 10. And Sam's going to push all in here for his remaining chips with king jack. Wow. And it's only a bit more, and that's not going to open up. And John's going to muck pocket eights. I'm sure Ron's going to leave here with ace 5. But that is not going to open up the field to a re-raise because it's just a little bit more. So we'll see how much more it is.
Let me take out 540.
300 more. 310.
300?
So Jason makes the call.
No, it's more than 310, man.
310.
No, 310.
Jason makes the call. Again, he cannot re-raise. And Mike makes the call.
Better than that. Much better than that.
We've got a $3,000 pot here, folks. Ace 10 against ace king. Most of the aces and kings are dead. And Sam's got king jack on the side. Wow, deuce 4-3. Now we can build a side pot here.
That's the best hand.
Sam's got overcards and a flush draw.
I'm all in.
And look at this. Jason's going to push all in. He's going to push all in with ace king on the side.
I got no pair so far.
And Mike is out. And let's see the turn. Turns a heart. And there you go. Sam is going to take the whole pot. $3,000. Right there. King jack of hearts. Makes a flush. Takes down a giant pot.
Yeah, but I want a side pot behind. Oh, no side pot.
Wow. Pushing all in there with the king jack of hearts. Unbelievable. Like gutsy play there. Usually that hand is a dominated hand, and in that case it was. But I guess he thought he was already invested $100, so why not push all in? Let's gamble it up. Anyways, to get back to the corporation story, there's an independent company here that actually covers all of the players' bets. So if you were player A playing against player B, you could only bet $50, and player B could only cover $50. Well, now an independent company has stepped in with a lot of money, and they figure, they'll take the 2% edge that these house games have, and they cover all bets that the players do not cover on the table, and Mike works for that company. That is called the corporation. Again, the house has no interest in the result. They're just taking an ante. It's player against player, and the corporation makes up for all the money that's on the table that the other players cannot cover against each other. Wow, 3-9-3 here, a couple of diamonds. Two people have flush draws. John in seat 7 with the nut flush draw. Sam with the second nut flush draw.
You steaming? Yes or no?
And seat 9 is bet. We can't quite see what he has there in his hand. Jason. Jason. He's got 9-10. He's got top pair. John Huang's going to call. Ron's out of the hand. We go to the turn. Turns a diamond. Here we go. Two flushes. Ace high and king high. And Sam bet $600 into the pot with the flush. And John Huang moves all in with the ace-high flush. And Sam's going to make the call, and we're going to see a $7,000 pot here. The river is a 3, and look at that. Jason would have filled up if he stayed in. He would have filled up, and he would have won the whole thing. He would have won it with 3s full of 9s, but instead, Sam's going to probably go close to broke as John Huang takes it down there with the nut flesh. Wow. 2 hands back to back.
30.
Boy, they both hated that card.
Yeah, they both.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what telling me. You know,
puckered up on that.
I am sick and tired.
$3,450 on the side there. The main pot from each player. So that makes the pot about $6,900.
He can't have a flush and a pair because his 2 pairs would make the flush. He can't have a flush.
3360.
3360.
Yeah.
Baby.
3360 Sam had there, or John has, and I think Sam has just a little bit more. And he's got to be happy about that.
He got him covered. Yeah, he got you covered, I think.
Folks, that's about a $7,200 pot, just like that.
He took your chips and pushed them over there.
3360.
They got him covered.
60.
He's covered.
Wow, unbelievable.
Isn't he covered?
That's 2,000. That's 3,000. That's 3,000.
That's 1,000.
Yeah, that's 3,000.
3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And it looks like John had him covered, and Sam goes broke. What a giant pot won there by John Huang.
Wow.
Incredible.
I would have
How about that?
Yeah, I would have had a full house.
I didn't have the heart.
You don't have a 3. You have a 3 or 5?
I had the best hand.
So what an incredible hand there. John Huang takes down a $7,500 pot. And Jason would have won the entire pot because he would have filled up on the river. Unbelievable. And Sam, after he just won that big hand with the king-queen, or king-jack,
You want a pot on my
goes
field
broke.
now?
Paul Darden, he's just sitting back eating watermelon there. That's a big watermelon there,
I
too.
jumped out when he said, you got a flush. Oh,
He's telling me something different. All this time I
I like to hear that. It was like, oh,
Small blind.
all right, I win.
Small blind, sir.
And there's the big devilish grin there by John Huang's wife.
Now seeing like trip from the river.
Yeah.
When you say a flush, I say, wow.
I wish I played bad that hand. I win.
Stados.
Why'd you stop?
Is that a straddle?
Right.
Huh?
Stados.
No. Now I got to save my call. Go.
3 places.
Three-way action here. Jack, 10-9. Rainbow. Corporation Mike there's got a 4-10. The turn is a 6. And Jason's going to bet here. He's got a queen. He's got an open-ended straight draw. He's bet 16. Mike's going to call. Wow, and Ron calls. He's got a flush draw. The river's an 8. That gives Jason the straight.
There's like about 2 people watching right now.
And he's got $225.
You got to beat Daniel, you got to beat Phil Ivey, you got to beat Paul, you got to beat all those players to be on TV.
And Jason takes it down.
Thank you.
And again, Just Scott, he says, I'm still not getting the answer to the question. Let me clarify it for you again. 3 queens is the lowest nut hand in Hold'em because if you had 3 kings, that's obviously higher than 3 queens. 3 aces is higher than 3 queens. You cannot have 3 jacks and have the nuts. There would be a straight on the board. 3 queens is the lowest nut hand with all 5 cards out in Hold'em.
Yes, maybe he's a bad player. He really pocket aces. So.
Seat please.
Seat 3 here, he's going to raise. He's going to make it 60 to go. Ace king offsuit. Seat 4 calls with pocket 8s. Paul Darden's in there with pocket 3s. Jason's going to call with jack 9, and Corporation Mike is in there. 5-way action, $300 pot here. King 6-5. Russ has the ace king, and I believe he checked it. Wow, he's playing it tricky. Well, the turn is a queen with all those people in there. Why wouldn't you bet the flop? And now he's going to bet $200. And he's not going to get called, it looks like.
What was it? Ace.
And again, if Russ had bet the flop, he might have gotten called there by Mike trying to spike 2 pairs or trips. But instead, he did not get any value on the hand.
Yes, thank you. How long you see him? I'm married. That's good.
Shuffle these cards.
Is it possible we can get set up with them?
Yes.
Awesome.
Here we go. Ace, ace, king on the flop. Pot looked like it was limped around.
What is this?
Aces.
No way.
Wait, the
There were
donut
none
come
when you
back.
got here. Huh? There were none when you got here, so you gotta watch it.
New setup, please.
The same spot?
Huh?
The same spot?
Well, I keep getting the same card, so it must be.
So you're marking them. If you keep getting them, it must be you. Because no one else is getting the cards, right?
I'm saying, hey, that's why I want the decks changed. You see what I'm
I feel it.
New setup, please.
Oh yeah, I see it. I can see which cards you're getting. Right here.
Limp, limp. Limped around.
6 players.
6-way action here to the flop. $120 pot. Jack 10-3, couple of spades. Nick chose not to raise there with the ace-queen in early position. Got checked around. The turn is a queen. Now Nick's picked up top pair. Paul Darden's got a diamond draw, though.
75.
And Russ is just going to put a little bluff bet in here.
275.
And now, because Russ puts a bet in, he's going to get raised by Nick, and Darden's going to go out with a flush draw. And Nick's going to take it down.
What do you think? I called 600. I could have queen. I'm starting to call you.
I know you don't have queens. Come on, I know you're not big hands. You're going to re-raise. Come on.
What? In that situation, I know exactly what you're going to do. I'm just going to do the same thing. Wait till you suicide it. I just don't. One of these times when you kamikaze me, I'm going to have a hand. And you're
I'm going to have a hand too.
I don't really.
You're nuts, man. I tell you what, though, if you flop an ace, you get a lot of extra.
If I flop an ace, I'm all in. I'm all, whatever. I'm all in.
Yeah, I don't call you all. You should bet like 400 or 500. I'll call you.
It looks like we're getting a new setup here. Again, we are trucking down to our last half an hour on Live at the Bike. We webcast live cash games every Wednesday through Saturday from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock Pacific time. Tonight we are doing a 10-20 no-limit game. The brown chips are $10 chips. The yellow chips are $5 chips. The purples are 25, the whites are 100s, and the greens are 1,000s.
That one that they're going down in Mississippi?
They're not going to televise it?
It's running right now?
Right, I heard that the main event won't be televised because they had a dispute.
The main event won't be televised.
Yeah, the supposedly TV event won't be televised.
Hey, well, you know when that free roll is going to be? The ESPN free roll?
It's supposed to be the 6th, 7th, 8th
That's what I heard.
November.
Oh, November?
Yeah.
I thought it
I don't
was
understand. I don't
September.
understand why the place I talked to the guy that's supposed to be the head of it.
Play so fast.
He told me 6th, 7th, 8th of November. He's going to have a press release next week.
So new player coming in there to seat 5. Get his name here in a second. Steve in seat 5.
I actually put you on
Then
a
it changes,
he's
right?
like jerking me off.
Right.
But he's the head of it.
It's only 200. It's 200
That's what I'm
players,
saying.
right?
It's a hard call for you. I didn't have any pocket pair.
Yeah, if I had anything, a mid-pair or above, I would have called with that flop.
2 million.
100.
Darden limped in here with 8-6 suited, and
Yeah.
John Huang, seat 7's got pocket kings. He raises to
That's
11.
why I want to know what
Yeah, that's what I mean too. I was
I
like,
had a vested interest.
people were telling me all the different days.
I'm telling you that that's what he told me yesterday.
So look at this lineup. We got Nick Mile there in seat 4. We got Paul Darden, seat 6. Ron Rose, seat 9. John Huang in seat 7.
want that much action, huh?
400, I would have.
Exactly. I might have let you have it, but
John Huang is going to get called here in 3 spots.
Head of Harris and
$400 pot here.
He's the one that
He's
said
over
it.
Ken
Ace
Lamb.
deuce 7. Wow, what a flop for Nick over there in seat 4. Top pair, nut flush draw. And he bets immediately.
Yeah, you would let me have
200.
And John Huang mucks and Darden mucks.
And the reason why I did that on that one,
And he's not going to get paid anything
the reason why
here.
I did that on that one, I still have outs.
Yeah,
This
you're
is a heck of a
5 or
flop,
the
this
H2,
man.
probably.
Here
You
shows
don't
it.
put anybody on 5, so.
should be fine.
Multiply. 20.
So Steve there in seat 5.
Did you qualify for it?
What?
Did you qualify for it? Sure, if you want to know when it is.
Yeah.
Flop top pair.
It's ridiculous if they don't tell us ahead of time.
They don't call you. We're supposed to do like a lot of press, and they're just, I don't know what's going on.
Rice. 70.
Raised there by, looks like Jason has got
310.
King 5 of clubs. Raises to 70, and Mike immediately re-raises to 310 with ace queen offsuit to his left.
You want me in?
Absolutely.
And Jason quickly mucks, and Mike's going to take it down
One
there.
time. 6, 10.
Collection.
Better than, a little better than that.
Hey, you have been bluffing lately, so I'm not calling you.
A little better than
Show
that.
me something.
Collection.
You had queen just now too, right?
Ace queen. That's all. I thought that was a little setup raise. So I'd re-raise and come over through.
It's too sophisticated.
You're calling all
for me,
in?
man.
You're calling all in?
I don't understand none of that.
Nick is going to limp in here from the button with King 9 offsuit. Small blind completes with ace rag. And John Huang's got pocket 8s in the big blind, and it looks like, oh, he's going to check it. Guess there isn't enough money in there to try to steal it. So he's going to play to try to hit a set. King 9 deuce. Nick's got top 2,
I bet.
and he's going to bet. He's bet 60, and he's going to take it down.
Thank you.
Rice.
Looks like seat 9 here is raised. Mike.
8 things.
excuse me, Mike's in seat 1 there. He makes it 80. He's got ace 10 of diamonds.
3 players.
Ron Rose is called here with 4-5 suited, and Jason's in there with queen jack off suit. What a flop for Ron Rose. Deuce, deuce, 3. Open-ended straight flush. He's going to check it.
Okay, check.
And it gets checked around. Why? Mike doesn't bet on it. Oh, a 3 comes on the turn. Now, check, check. And Mike bets 230. Now, if you're Ron Rose here, I think you might be able to pull a check raise. Oh, he's just going to smooth call. Here we go to the river. River's a king. Oh.
Ace.
And Ron just kind of gave up on that hand. And the ace is good.
Wow.
Surprised that Ron played that so passively.
4, 5 of spades.
Yeah.
Too many outs, Ron. You never get there with too many outs.
Really, really played that one passively.
Live status.
Oh, first live straddle of the night there, Corporation Mike. Of course, live straddle is a forced blind. It's like a second big blind. It's 40 to call now. It's double the big blind, and Mike will have the option. And Mike loves to pull the raise out of the straddle position if a lot of people just limp.
Right. 40.
He's going to check it. We got 4-way action times 40, $160 pot to the flop. Deuce, Jack, 7. No one's picked a pair up here. Rainbow board.
Okay, all done.
What happened?
It's on you, Mike.
Check.
Checked around here. Turn is another jack, and Jason has the best hand here with ace 10.
Here's your chance to make a move, Mike. $80.
And Jason's going to bet 80. Mike folds.
80.
Nick's going to fold. And Ron's going to fold. And Jason takes it down with the best hand.
I think you had ace 9.
You look better. How'd you know?
Huh?
How'd you know?
All right?
You're close.
You do that a lot. When the board doesn't appear and you have an ace, you'll bet it. Bet it good enough.
I just started doing it.
I noticed. You did it a bunch of
Live
times.
status.
No, I raised it a bunch of times last night.
We're going to get a chip count here. Looks like John in seat 7. He won that huge pot. He's back up to 6,400. Probably a little bit up for the night. Jason's got 4,500. Nick, 3,700.
You know what I mean?
And Ron's still trucking along there around 3,000. Well, this pot has been straddled, and the big blind has pocket kings, and he's going to raise. Straddle position is seat 2, and Corporation Mike is going to raise. And Hoff doesn't give him credit. He's going to call. He only raised $90 with pocket kings. Boy, what is Mike doing? I mean, you're just inviting everybody to call there. That's unbelievable that he only raised to 90 with pocket kings in a straddled pot. So we're going to see 4-way action here. It's a $360 pot. Very surprising that Mike didn't make that more. And here we go with the flop. Ace 3-3. Hoff has outflopped him. But Mike's going to lead.
250.
He's going to bet 250. Again, the flop is ace 3-3. Couple of clubs. And Hoff is going to make a smooth call. And look at Nick. Oh, Nick's going to lay it down. I thought he was going to call. And Jason now, he's got a flush draw. Now the board is paired. And he's going to make the call as well. So we got about a $1,100 pot here to the turn. Turn is a deuce. Hoff is still good over there in seat 2.
Time. He checked, right? All right, I thought she was getting ready.
And it goes check, check here. And now Hoff probably thinks his hand is most likely good. Again, I think Mike really went wrong when he didn't raise bigger out of the big blind in a straddled pot with pocket kings here, pre-flop. Only raised to 90. Action is on Hoff with the best hand.
500.
He's going to make a $500 bet here. Now, the pot was $1,100, so it's $1,600 pot, $500 to call, and both players muck.
That's a weird bet you just made, huh?
And Hoff is going to take it down there. And we welcome Ron Rose.
I got to see that on TV.
Ron Rose into the booth.
Hello.
How you doing, Ron? Let's move you over here a couple of steps. There we go. And Ron, we really appreciate you coming on the show and playing.
I'm glad to be here with you all.
Of course, we were talking about your book there, Poker Aces, Stars of Tournament Poker, where you feature 89 different players from 25 different countries. Tell us a little bit about the book and the availability of it.
Well, the availability is you can buy it on Amazon.com. You can get it at Barnes & Nobles. And it's a real nice book that everybody seems to like very well. Put it bluntly, I haven't had any bad reviews whatsoever. And I guess the only people that don't like it are the people that I didn't put in the book. But I did, I'm writing a second book, and actually the first book, The Stars of Tournament Poker, was too big. I'll let you go ahead and comment on this hand here.
Well, we got 4-9-6 here, a couple of spades. John Huang over there has been playing aggressive all night, has a flush draw.
160.
And it looks like Mike got a seat 1 bet with pocket sevens, 160. Steve is going to make the call in seat 5 with an open-ended straight draw with 7-8, and you'd imagine that John's going to come in here with a flush draw. No, he's going to lay it down. Wow. So we're heads up, pocket sevens against 7-8. The turn is a jack. And Mike is checked now. What do you think about Steve here betting? He's going to bet in position, Ron.
300.
$300 bet.
I think he's just doing a speculation bet. If he does bet, he's looking to hopefully take the pot right there.
And Mike makes the call, and the river is an 8. And Steve actually backs into the best hand with a pair of 8s here.
Did you have flush draw? Can I see your hand?
And John was saying out back there that he thought that Steve was on a higher flush draw. That's why he mucked it from seat 7. Wow. And Steve takes it down. Ron, there was a couple of questions I wanted to ask you about some of the hands that we played out.
Just a couple, huh?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Okay.
Well, one of the ones, it's actually a combination of 2 questions because it's 2 specific hands. This was a while back. One time you had deuce 3 of clubs, and you flopped bottom 2 pairs. The flop came deuce 10-3.
Uh-huh.
You checked the flop, and it got checked around.
Right.
A jack came on the turn.
Right.
And I believe that you check-called there again, and then the river made your flush, and you check-called once again. We were wondering why you played that hand so passively, not betting on the flop with 2 pair.
Right.
Picked up the flush draw, didn't bet it, and then picked up the flush on the river and didn't bet it.
Well, that particular time I was looking for somebody else to bet that had people that was at the table that were pretty aggressive. And I didn't think it was going to go around twice checked. It hadn't occurred all day.
Yeah.
So I was looking for somebody to bet so I could re-raise them there on that particular hand.
So you're actually looking to try to check to induce a bluff pretty much on every street, and it just never really happened.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's sort of what happened. Probably the most I could have made there was probably another $100 on that particular hand.
Yeah.
Because nobody else had a hand, so it was really a moot point there.
Nick has bet here with 6-9 of spades. He doesn't have anything, and look at this. Hoff is going to raise with second pair. He's going to check raise Nick. Now, Nick is a very aggressive tournament player, obviously. And, Nick doesn't really have anything here.
No, he doesn't have too much, but maybe he's going to try to make a bluff on it.
Well, he's been check raised. Now he's going to lay it down.
Yeah. Well, He didn't have any other choice there. Unless he has just a lot of money to throw away.
Now, the other reason why that hand links into another hand was because, Dave and I, who are the commentators on the show, are usually a big proponent of fast playing a lot of hands. Obviously, as the stacks get deeper, you can get trickier. But you had raised with ace-9.
Right.
And had flopped top 2 pair.
Right.
And you were against seat 5, Hoff, who had been playing a little bit aggressively, and we just wondered why you bet with top 2 there at an uncoordinated rainbow board, whereas you kind of slow played the deuce 3.
Well, the first hand I was the first act, so I was under the gun, and I thought I'd let the other people do my betting for me. The ace-9, I thought I'd go ahead and bet it because it seemed like he was calling almost anything I was betting. I bet he'd get called or raised, so I didn't mind having him raised there, and I certainly didn't mind getting called.
But in fact, he mucked the hand. But
I did.
You're right about that because we saw actually. I don't know if you saw the showdown, but Hoff called Jimmy Tran's bet there, King 10, all the way with just ace high. Got check raised, he called, got bet again, he called, got bet on the river.
Well,
and
like
he called.
I say, what you do when you poker here is you try to size up your opponents and see what they're going to do before they do it. And I thought for sure he would at least call the bet, if not try to raise the bet.
Yep. There was another hand as well where you made a pretty good laydown where you had overcards, King, Queen of Hearts with a flush draw. I believe the guy had raised. He actually had pocket aces. Telling you that now. Yeah, he had pocket aces, and he checked to you on the flop. You checked behind him. You picked up a flush draw on the turn. He bet you raised, and you came over the top, and you laid the hand in. Tell us what you were thinking about that.
Well, he bet $200 as I recall, and I raised him 200 and I got 400. Then he moved all in on me.
Yeah.
That's the hand.
Yeah. Now, were you figuring at that point
Well,
that maybe
I
even
wanted
if
to
you
find
hit
out-
one of your overcards?
I wanted to find out, the reason I raised him there, the 200, I wanted to find out exactly what kind of hand he had. So instead of putting in $2,000 to figure it out on the river, I figured it out right there that he had a better hand than I did.
Yeah. And obviously, if you hit one of
So
your
for
over...
$200 was a small price to pay for finding out what I need to find out right there.
90.
If I just want to play the hand.
Hoff raised here with pocket kings. And look at this. Nick flopped an ace, and Hoff is going to check call here with pocket kings. So you're right. He's quite a calling station. The third diamond comes on the turn. Nick has the jack of diamonds in his hand. Hoff's going to check. And Nick is going to bet 300 again here from the button. And at this point, without a diamond in your hand, you've got pocket kings. This is a tough call, right?
Well, the size of the bet in relationship to what's in the pot there, for example.
Yep. And I think Nick just showed the jack of diamonds there, it looked like. So you got away from that one. And again, we say that you had overcards in the flush draw, but if you got your one of your overcards, it wasn't good. And actually, we have a rabbit cam here, and the river was a king. So you still wouldn't have been good, obviously, if you hit the hand.
One of the things, big things about poker is you have to size up your opponents at the table to try to figure out what they're going to do before they do it. If you can do that, you're going to become an excellent poker player. It's just not being a rote automatic calling station, automatic, well, I got the goods, I'm going to raise them. You have to use a lot of intelligence here about the people you're playing against, about the type of cards you have in front of you.
Yeah, I think that's a bad
Won
number.
a couple of those hands with
C2's going to bring this one in for 80. Aaron's got big slick offsuit, ace-king offsuit. And Corporation Mike there, very, very loose, aggressive player, makes a call with the ace-rag offsuit. 5-10 jack, couple of diamonds.
going downhill.
And Hoff is going to bet in position, overcards in the gut shot. And look at Mike. He's got a smooth call there, Ron. Wow. The turn's an 8. He's picked up an open-ended straight draw now.
He improved his hand.
And he bets right into it here on the turn.
250.
He bet 250 on the turn. Probably a stop bet there, possibly as a bluff as well. It's a semi-bluff as well, right?
Well, that's a semi-bluff.
Yeah.
He's definitely got him thinking about what he wants to do there. He doesn't realize he's ahead, I don't believe.
But again, we talk about you got to pay attention to your players, and we've seen Hoff make this call almost all night.
Yeah, the problem with Mike there is he made a bet there when I think Hoff is going to almost call for sure, but he's almost called everything all day.
Right.
And when you get a player like that, you have to adjust your game accordingly. So a check there might have been good just to see if he gets this straight. And then if he had bet at the end, then he'd get called by Hoff. I'm almost sure.
Well, the action is on Hoff.
But you notice Mike doesn't have an open-ended straight that's going to win. If he gets a queen comes on the board,
that's right.
Hoff is going to win.
Yeah, the only thing that he can
the 7 is the only good card for Mike, and unbeknownst to him.
Right.
The queen will get him in. He'll lose all his chips with the queen, most likely.
Yeah. He could spike a 9 there on the river too, but he probably is not going to get paid off that much.
Right.
As well.
I'm just saying he would commit his whole stack probably.
Right.
Look at it all in the way they've played it.
Look at this. Hoff, he's going to make the call.
Absolutely, he calls. We were expecting that.
So we got about an $800 pot here. Let's see
if
the
a
river.
queen comes up, well, look what's going to happen here. Well, it
it's
didn't
a
happen.
deuce. Let's see what Mike does.
Yeah.
Mike's going to give up, and it's ace king is going to be good here, Ron.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking at the board and he's thinking, oh boy, I'm glad a queen didn't come. That's what he's shaking his head at.
Like you're losing him, man.
I think that's what he's thinking right now.
He liked the draw. You have to know him.
Well, yeah, and again, I mean, you can put a guy on ace king, but just I've seen Mike play so much. All his chips are going in there. If the queen came out, all the chips
Well,
are going
that's
in.
what I said.
Yeah.
They would have a go at it.
Might have a big
Yeah.
pair, and he's sucking me and waiting for me to bet again.
One more question about a hand that you just played actually a couple of minutes ago. You had 4 or 5 of spades in the flop. Was deuce, deuce, 3. 2
Right.
spades, open-ended, straight flush draw.
Uh-huh.
Check on the flop, check call, and then just kind of a
Yeah.
check, and the guy with ace high
Yeah,
pretty
I
much won it.
lost the minimum amount on that hand. I could never have won the hand, but I had a chance of winning it.
Mhm.
I knew I was behind the whole time, and even if I bet, I was going to get called by that opponent. So all I can say is I lost the minimum amount if I was going to play that hand.
You don't think that if you had check raised from up front, you could have made a semi-bluff and taken the hand down? I mean, he had ace 10.
Well, I think the opponent was going to call anyway in that event. I just felt he was going to call me.
Okay.
Unless I made a huge bet. But a huge bet sticks my neck out too far. It's not a matter of how many big pots you win. It's how many you don't lose. And minimize your losses on a pot.
What do you think
That's
about
gonna make you a winner?
What do you think about the overall play here in terms of these players? Now we've got a couple of players that play no limit cash games here a lot. Paul Darden's actually playing pretty squeaky tight, but Mike is very, very crazy. Obviously, you got Hoff over there in C2, who seems to be a calling station.
Well, you know, I'm from Ohio.
Yeah.
And I'm here playing the Legends of Poker
Right.
tournament. I'm a tournament poker player mainly. And Paul Darden is a tournament poker player, and he also plays cash games, but I played with him a lot.
Uh-huh.
So I know how he plays. Corporation Mike there, that they call him. I played a little bit with him, and I have a pretty good idea how he plays.
Yep.
70.
And
17?
70.
John, the player on my right in seat 7 there,
Yep.
He's a very good player. And also the guy on my left,
Jason.
in the last seat, Jason. I don't have that good a feel of how he plays, but just by the way he's moving his chips around, he seems like a pretty good player, in my opinion.
Well, Jason actually brought this one in for a raise with 5-6 offsuit. Got called by ace jack and ace king.
Uh-huh.
And Hoff,
200.
he has top and bottom pair. Jason's going to bet, make a continuation bet there. Obviously, he's probably not going to
Well,
take any
Jason's
heat.
saying goodbye now.
Yeah.
He made a bet, and nothing came on the flop for him. And
Now the
he's
question is, can
disappointed.
Nick get away from the hand? Hoff raises.
Well, Nick's going to have a hard time getting away from that hand unless there's a big raise in front of him.
It's a check raise, 500 more. So Jason bet 200. Oh, look at this. Nick quickly mucks. So he smartly gets away from ace king there. And Hoff is going to take it down with the ace jack.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. So you have Mike there
It was a 10?
sort of sensing something there. He must have seen something by the other player that he picked up on, I think, on that particular hand.
Well, Ron, this is going to be the last hand of the night. Again, we really appreciate the fact that you've stopped by. Again, tell us about your book real quick.
Well, it's called Poker Aces, the Stars of Tournament Poker, and it's $29.95. I highlight 89 players from around the world, representing 25 different countries, and it can be bought at Barnes & Nobles, online at Amazon.com and also cardplayer.com as well. In fact, in Card Player magazine, they have highlighted some of my various people in every issue for like the last 10 months.
Oh, great.
So people have seen that, have been able to take
Mike,
a
you
peek
got the
at
worst
it.
hand this time, right?
Again, I've had nothing but grand reviews from that particular one.
The last hand of the night, it
I
looked
got the
like
second worst hand.
Mike raised there with Queen 7 of clubs, and he picks up a flush draw, Ace 5-10, couple of clubs. Russ has got Ace 9 over there in seat 3. It gets checked to the button, who was the original raiser, and he's going to bet 300 there at the semi-bluff flush draw. Well, Rush makes the check call. It's a tough spot up front there for Ace 9, but he's going to make the call. And we're going to be heads up here.
I'm surprised Mike didn't raise there.
The turn is an 8. Well, Mike actually bet it, and Russ just check called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that.
And Mike takes the free card. Check, check, and there's the flush card on the river.
Yeah, he got the flush.
And look at this. Russ puts in a bet here, probably a little bit of a stop bet, and Mike's going to move all in.
Yeah, he's going to raise there.
And look at this. Russ makes the call.
Wow.
Russ makes the call with Ace 9.
Yeah.
Wow. And a big pot there
Yep.
to end the night. Boy, tough to sometimes get involved with the Ace Rag from up front there, huh?
Yeah, Mike
right. You had
played
the
it
worst
okay.
Yeah.
But he could have gotten away from that at the river there.
Yeah, Russ there at the river.
But I guess maybe Mike was pulling a fast one on him.
Well, one other question I want to ask you, and that was the last hand of the night. What did you think of John Pham's play last a couple nights ago when you played against him?
Yeah.
He lost a lot of money. You were at the table,
Yeah,
obviously.
I was
You were
at the,
watching
I was
that.
at the table, and basically, I know John from a tournament poker player, and I haven't played a lot of cash games with John, so I was sitting behind him. I mean, in front of him, actually. I was in seat 9. He was in the first seat. And we had one hand come up that I had a pocket 7s in the hole, and it was an interesting hand. And we ended up, I made a large bet on the end, and he actually called the bet. And I got a 7 on the river and gave me a trip 7s.
And I told you that he only had pocket 4s that hand. He couldn't even beat anything on the board.
But I still didn't know. I wasn't sure. I thought I was ahead the whole time on that particular hand.
Yeah.
But I wasn't absolutely positive. So knowing John, he could have had anything. He's one of the toughest tournament poker players that I have to encounter in the tournaments. It's just interesting to watch John play because I view John as one of the best tournament poker players on the circuit right now. If I had to list them, I would list John at the top.
Wow. Well, if you turn around right here, we've got our Bicycle Casino board, and we've got a bunch of people that have signed, famous poker players, and we'd love you to do the honors and sign somewhere. And we appreciate you stopping by.
Okay. Just my name, eh?
Well, as we see Ron doing that, I want to wish everyone goodbye. For everybody in the booth here and for everyone that's helped with the show, Dave Tuckman, I'm Bart Hansen. For Ron Rose, thanks again for stopping by. Please join us on Wednesday at 6 o'clock Pacific time. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
1360.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.